I leave a widow alone. I trek across the land seeking the jobs for helping hands. If any need a battle to be won, and when I'm given one, I don't rest until it's done. Oh, me, my sword, and my mercenary band. We live the life of the mercenary. Restitution is our creed. We seek the thrill, gold and glory. It's the only life we need. We trek across the land seeking the jobs for helping hands. If any need a battle to be won, when we're given one, we don't rest until it's done. Oh, me, my sword, and my mercenary band. I live the life of the mercenary. I court death near every day. I do not fear it. Oh, come and take me, but let me ride once more this day. I trek across the land seeking the jobs for helping hands. If any need a battle to be won, and when I'm given one, I don't rest until it's done. Oh, me, my sword, and my mercenary band. We trek across the land seeking the jobs for helping hands. If any need a battle to be won, and when we're given one, we don't rest until it's done. Oh, me, my sword, and my mercenary band. I've made a home of the winding road, traded my living for wanderer's woes. Feet on the earth, head in the clouds, I walk the world alone. Long have I traveled across these lands. Long is the journey that never ends. Back home there are farmers and blacksmiths galore, but out in the world I can be so much more. I've met mages and fae, I've met soldiers at war, and set eyes upon distant shores. Long have I traveled across these lands. Long is the journey that never ends. Some say that I'm foolish, some say that I'm bold, to brave the dark forests, wild beasts, and the cold. used to roam, and ruins of old, and sing of their stories untold. Long have I traveled across these lands. Long is the journey that never ends. My journey shall never end. I live the life of the mercenary. I live by blade and shield alone. I do not settle, love nor marry, lest I leave a widow alone. I trek across the land, seeking the jobs for helping hands. If any need a battle to be won, and when I'm given one, I don't rest until it's done. Oh, me, my sword and my mercy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Every time. If anyone wants to know, I'm also a streamer and I forget to change over my transitions. Every time. Okay, welcome
I don't think
back
there's been a time when it
to welcome back to the Stormcaller's Fury, episode 16, Greenery and Gain. Last we left off was a little bit of a cliffhanger, as I usually leave them. Pipkin had jumped inside of the warehouse, where you are sure that the Brass Worm Consortium are collecting people in chains, let's call them, to use as their sort of labor force in the mines of, in the Dwarven mines to the east. Pipkin jumped in, fell off the roof a little bit, caught herself, landed inside, and was going about investigating when she put her foot through a crate that alerted the nearby dire warg that then began turning towards her. Nim and Zephyr were outside, pretending to do something very badly to try and distract the guards, and Persephone and Keenan were off to one side, chatting. Kalanthar was on the other side, having watched Pipkin go into the warehouse. We pick up, not in combat, not yet, as for those outside, you notice that two of the guards sort of turn their heads, listening to some sort of commotion inside, and two of them slip inside the door. Inside the warehouse, Kozar wraps a massive hand around Pipkin's head. I was going to say mouth, but it's a very large hand. So, chucking the tarpaulin over them as the direwolf begins sniffing around places of the warehouse. So I will need a stealth check from Pipkin. And a insight check from one of the guys outside. You can choose amongst yourselves.
Not my best, I'll be honest. But
Me
I
and
think I'm the
Keenan
closest.
included. Me and Keenan included.
You
I
choose
got
the
a
other side.
+6 on.
I think you can do it then.
I mean, I don't do math. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
19 is enough. As you're watching those guards, they've definitely been alerted to something. You heard a little bit of what that commotion is as you hear like the odd growling off in the distance. But you know for sure that they're now on high alert, and they begin looking towards Nim and Zephyr with a sort of tilted head, and then listening and then looking away. You would guess that they are becoming very suspicious.
Still in character. of, romantic couple. She's gonna squeeze Keenan a little bit closer, like pull his arm a little bit closer, put her head on his shoulder and just like whisper into his ear and say that you should probably message them to casually walk away because they're suspicious. They know something's up. I think
While this is
something's wrong.
happening, would Zephyr have noticed that the guards are suspicious of her?
Yeah, so you saw two of them sort of slip inside.
Okay.
And there's still 3 outside there, all looking in your direction.
Zephyr's gonna quickly whisper sorry to Nim and we'll send it tackle Nim to the ground.
Oh god.
It continues.
Okay. I don't know if she'd contest it or not, but
Let's be honest, she wouldn't. She was
probably
so on
wouldn't,
board
no.
with all of it
Yeah.
last session.
so as you tackle Nim to the floor, I'd say I will roll for the guards and see if they. Okay. So one of them sort of folds their arms, looks at the other one, tilts his head, and you see the second one running full tilt towards you guys to sort of break up whatever's happening in amongst all of that. How did your stealth check go?
12.
Okay. All right. You hear Kozar audibly swear as the Direwolf. I don't know why I said Knoll. I mean, I guess they look very similar. The Direwolf begins sniffing and moving in your direction as it seems to have caught your scent. You hear him swear and he's like, fuck, and then just tells you to run towards the front door. As you see 2 of the dwarves slip inside. I would say with the distance you are from the door, you can make it there. And then if you want to use any actions or bonus actions in terms of like initiative wise, to slip by them, you can try that.
I would either dodge or dash. I think I'll go for dodge.
Okay.
As a bonus action.
Yeah, so you see one of the massive sort of warehouse barn doors open up. You can see out onto the outside where you see Nim and Zephyr on the ground with a dwarven guard stood over them. Off to one side, you can sort of see Persephone and Keenan looking like a couple. You see these 2 dwarves come inside, and as you're sprinting past, you're going to take the dodge action. So I'd say you're by the front door with the door open, taking the dodge action. As they see you, obviously they are going to spring into action as well, so I need everyone to roll initiative for me. And I will bring up Tailspire for you.
Like everybody?
Everybody.
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 I rolled a 2 for a 6 in total, but
Wow.
7 Keenan are gonna be like so confused. Like, hey,
9.
why us? We're just going for a romantic walk.
I'm literally
going on
like
here?
chilling in a crowd right now. Like, I don't even
Such a
talk to
rude
anyone.
dial.
It's just like, Dwarf's like, fuck you.
You're just like a cat that's been caught doing something. Like, fuck.
What did I do? I was gonna say, like, I sneak around and like roll one of my imbued rocks that just smells of steak in front of the wall cages, but I was just like, I'm not gonna interrupt because this is just funny. What's going
Would have been so cool though.
on? I got an idea. Got to see what the map's like though, so I don't fuck everyone else in the process though.
That was a 9 from me.
What even was it?
Was a 19 from me.
8.
Okay,
I should
give
have
me
rolled
a
that manually.
second. Pipkin, your initiative, please.
6.
Persephone.
17.
Nim, I'll see is Keenan.
19.
Zephyr.
9.
9. Kalenthar.
Mine's 9.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I rolled
Okay.
really low.
A lot of 9s.
Who's playing
and
Nim?
then-
9.
Kozar. I will explain that in a minute.
All right.
Oh, I just wrote Kozar in Kozar's initiative order. That's always good, isn't
Oh, I think that.
He's so fast. He is his own initiative.
it? Yeah, exactly.
Check that out.
Okay. And his is a... Also a 9. Fuck's sake.
Okay, now.
9.
No. Okay, so as you can see, you have Zephyr and Nim, who are down in here. I'm just going to
Nothing.
pull...
Range round.
There she is. So you have Zephyr and Nim
Uh-huh.
up front. You have Persephone and Keenan, who are over here pretending to be a couple. You have Kalanthar, who's being a fucking creep over by this fence. Over here.
How dare you?
And inside, let's bring it down. We'll go get
I was just mingling.
These two.
Sorry for having a social life.
who are now by the
Yeah,
front.
that's what you want to call it.
It's the closest it gets, let's be fair.
You're just hiding amongst people, not saying anything. I'm socializing in silence.
Okay, so one of these is over here.
Am I going crazy or can I not see them?
No, you're not going
Or-
crazy. I think they're still loading in, but yeah, we have no visuals yet.
Okay.
That's fine. I will sort that out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there we go. We see them.
Yay!
Oh,
Okay, so like I said, everyone is now positioned where you should be. You've got two sort of dwarves here. Pipkin, now that you're up close, you can see that this dwarf here is slightly more armored. You can see that very familiar whip on one side. You would guess that that is the dwarf that you saw and the one that chased you through the forest.
Shoot him
but
again,
as-
Ben.
First up is our bandit captain, who is right here, and obviously sees. Is that? Oh yeah, that's Kozar. He obviously sees all of this happen. He is going to go for Pipkin with his scimitar.
All right.
That is a 11 and a 7.
So neither hit.
Okay, and then it is Keenan's turn. As this is happening, you watch as Nim sort of clocks this dwarf in the face and begins sprinting off as he begins chasing her. That is going to render these two over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's right.
Boom.
So it is
Okay.
Keenan's turn.
Keenan is going to run forward within 60 feet of the door, the barn doors,
Okay.
and
30. That's 30 feet of movement.
yeah, perfect. And then he's going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the bandit captain dude that just
Okay,
tried to punch Pipkin.
sure. What save is that?
It's a wisdom save of 15.
That is a 3.
Yeah. He's prone and laughing.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah. Bonus action. He's going to look across at Pipkin and he's just going to say, beat that fuck out of him, would you?
Love it.
For a bardic inspiration.
Okay. You watch as these two, noticing what is going on, are going to turn. They're going to end up about here. And they are going to both fire off arrows at Keenan, seeing that he is the one responsible. First one for Bandit B is a 24.
Yep, that'll hit.
That is 6 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
And for the second bandit, that is a 16.
Hits.
For 10 points of piercing damage. As you watch them fire off 2 arrows, one hits you, grazes you in the shoulder, and the other sort of pins part of your calf.
Yeah.
Persephone, it is your turn.
Oh, balls. Okay, sorry, I just put a bunch of pasta in my mouth. So when Persephone sees Keenan get dragged, she's going to cut off. Where is it? Sweet baby boy. Shield of Faith on him, which gives him a +2 to his AC.
Nice.
That's a bonus action. And then, as a normal action, she's just going to take out her crossbow, and I think they're within her range. Maybe she'll step forward 5 feet, so she's not behind the fence. Yeah. And then she'll pop it at the one closest to her.
Okay.
The one that shot him, that's closest. Yeah.
Yep.
Please roll well. Oh no, it fell down into my nothing. I'm fine. It was a nat 20. And then I panicked because I don't know. Something. I forgot how we do nat 20s.
So it's maximum roll of the dice plus the roll and then your modifier.
Thank you. Thank you. Which is not much. 9, 10, 13. 15 points of damage.
Uh, 15.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, she's
Oh.
gonna just do her little. She's just seen like someone who she thinks of as her brother been shot, basically. So she's just gonna. It's gonna be like a feral growl as she whips her crossbow out, and it like pierces right through his eye.
Okay. Yeah, you
like,
watch his
pops out
clutching
the
the
other
eye
side.
falling down. He is obviously on the floor. Okay. Let me roll to see odds and evens. So even is going to be Kozar, odds is going to be Pipkin. Okay. Pipkin, you hear a very sort of low growl behind you. As this behemoth-looking warg, you can sense the breath on your back. He is going to go for you.
Right.
The first attack, he's going to try and bite you, which is a 14.
Misses.
And the second attack... Oh, where did that go? Oh, that's because that's the wrong dice. Second attack is a 21. As he clamps, you hear the
Wow. Is
visible
that with
snapping
disadvantage?
of jaws. That is with disadvantage, yeah.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
He's a brute.
Well, he has a +9, so...
So sorry, how much damage was that?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to guess 66, somewhere around there.
I thought you said 66.
That is
66?
15 slashing damage.
All right.
Kozar is going to follow up and try and help you. Fuck you, Kozar. Anyway,
Goes on this.
and the bandit next to him is going to go for him as well. That is a hit for 5 damage. Zephyrel, it is your turn.
Hello, where am I?
You are currently right here.
See. Cool. And where are my nearest baddies?
There's one here, one here, one here,
Oh,
one here.
okay, I see. Hey, what is the... I'm gonna work out how sleep works.
It's the total. It's got
I
a
don't get
health
very
pool.
much of it, so I don't know how sleep works. But
There's a health pool and it's divided.
yeah,
up
but is it
amongst-
like I choose? Is it like a cone? Is it like I go like
It's
you,
not-
you, and you?
It's
Like
normally
because I know
area.
it's
I think it's you, and you within range.
okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a 10-foot radius, I think. Off the top of my head.
No, it's
You're wrong.
a 20-foot radius.
20 foot.
Yeah. And you basically pick whoever you want, and then
Okay.
it goes in ascending order of their hit points. So it's whoever's the lowest hit points will go first, and then once you've run out of those hit points, you have to stop.
Okay. So I would like to kind of go in a diagonal so I feel like I'm within 20 feet of the guy to the left and the buns by the door.
So that would be here.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast sleep.
Okay. So roll your 5d8 and let me
Okay.
know.
Believe in
Which
you, Gunny.
ones?
How many D8? 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 31.
Okay, so that means, bear with me. I'm still getting used to this mouse. It's fucking weird. Ascending order. So that is, let's kill him. This one is asleep. Asleep will be blue. Then it would be this guy.
Nap time.
That is how much was it? Sorry.
31.
So that is. That is the only. That is your limits.
Okay, cool. Just
Yeah,
gonna have to
loads
think
of
about them
people.
for a little bit. And then bonus action. Do the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
And so cast that. Yep, took up one of my soul slots. And I would like to put it next to the warg. Can I put it next to the warg, or does it have to be near me?
How far
I think it
is
has
your
a
range?
60 feet.
Oh, then yeah, you can put it here.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Let me describe to me how your sleep spell works. What are you doing to activate it, and what does it look like as it passes over those two bandits?
So Zephyr is dual wielding. So not dual wielding, but like sword and shield. But she has Warcaster, so it's less of a point and sparkles come out, and more of a she whispers sleep. and this little like sprinkle of white, almost like shimmering, fall like goes above the sleeping duo's heads, and then they just slowly slide to the ground.
Okay, wonderful. Kalanthar, you're up.
Oh, does my weapon go after me?
Oh, it does, yes. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it does.
It is a sword.
There he is.
Yeah, you're sort of off screen a little bit.
Yeah.
A 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
I am aiming for the warg, yes.
Yes.
And that's an 8.
Okay.
What's the little tendril at the back? Is that the spiritual weapon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a sword.
Okay.
It just looks a bit
Yeah,
funny.
the spiritual weapon's a tentacle? No.
It's into some weird stuff.
Anime.
Roll for that dragon.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Kalanthar, it is your turn.
right.
You look such, I can't get over it. You look like such a creep just hiding behind the fence.
So the
Little
wall
people.
pens out back, did we, when we were doing our little reconnaissance, were they locked, the cages or not?
Yes, they were all locked. Oh, they've all fallen out. Anyway, but yes, they were all locked.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Right. I'm just trying to think. To get advantage, I'm going to have to pretty much use all my movement to get across, aren't I? Because I've got to climb over a fence that's nearly as tall as me to see anyone.
I would
'cause
say if
don't
you
wanna shoot
pass
the
in
goats.
acrobatics, you can probably do some cool shit to jump over it.
How far away? So I can actually, if I got over the fence, like how far have I got? So I can move 30 feet.
It's about... So 30
Can I
feet
s-
would be... So each
yeah.
of these squares is 10 feet. So you just 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. You'd be like somewhere in here.
Would
If
I
you move
actually get?
diagonally, you could probably.
I was just trying to think, am I actually going to be in vision of anyone that's not already prone? Is my thought.
I mean, if you move diagonally upwards, you'll be able to see more.
No, you're not going to see the warg.
No, yeah,
but
you
can
wouldn't.
see-
Okay, in that case, I'll jump. I'll do a preemptive maneuver, even though it might not come up. I'll
Mhm.
jump, use my acrobatics. I'll roll that in a second, jump over, and then I'm going to cast grease in front of the pens over the back.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Grease.
Athletics.
Do I have a
and
grease?
you've got his little. You've got your little.
Yeah.
You've got your little.
Oh, I
fucking
do have
arrows.
I prepped it on the last long rest.
Oh no, I was asking myself if I have a grease, but I do.
It's 9. It's 9 for the athletics to try and vault
Oh,
over. so
no.
How much movement? How much movement or faceplant am I getting?
I would say use half your movement as you sort of... You go to jump over it, you realize it's higher than you thought, and you see that weird straddle where you're like, ah, fuck, it's in between your legs. And to jump back over. So that is half your movement. So you have 15 feet.
Okay. So I'll move along a little bit. Am I within 60 feet, like, if the long ways from the pen, from where I am at the minute? That's 1, 2, 3.
You would be if you
No.
went this way.
Okay, I'll do that. And then I'll cast grease in front of the pens.
Okay. How big is Greece?
I think it's 10 foot now with the new rules.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 10-foot square, centered on a point. So I'll center it between two of the, well, as far as I can, up between two of the cages. And it becomes difficult terrain. It's a DC 13 dexterity, or they fall prone if they go on it.
Cool.
And for my bonus action, I'll just blood maledict and light up my bow.
Cool. No worries. Pipkin, it is your turn.
I would like to move slightly to make sure that I have advantage with the holy weapon, and hit the only one that isn't prone, because I would like to leave them be for now. If they're incapacitated, they're not a problem. Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit.
Oh, that's really surprising. For my second action, which I can't use Flurry of Blows, but my second action is a dirty 20. Should I have used my
Depends
bardic
what
inspiration?
hit.
Well, it's too late now. I don't think it would have been.
Yes, 30-20 does work.
Right. I'm thoroughly confused at the moment because my for some odd reason my unarmed strike shows up as 1d4. I don't remember ever rolling a d4 for it.
It should be a 1d6.
Yeah, I'm not sure why D&D Beyond has decided to change that. I'm very confused. I'll roll a d6 for 7 bludgeoning damage and for 6 thunder damage from her knuckle dusters. And it will it can't fly back. So that will be it.
Oh, yeah. That is weird. Anyway, but yeah, it is a 1d6.
Yeah.
How much damage, sorry?
7 bludgeoning and 6 thunder.
Okay, 7 and 6. It can't move backwards because it's stuck between the what do we call it? Spiritual weapon. Okay.
I don't understand why my attack is lowered.
I actually don't know.
Nothing.
I'll have a look at that once we're done.
Yeah.
Nim is obviously providing your distraction as you watch these two are just running as he's chasing her. So it is my turn. The bandit captain, can he remake his save?
He can at the end of his turn,
At the end.
or if he takes damage.
Cool. That is a 17.
That saves.
Cool. So he's obviously up, but that's the end of his turn. There we go. It is your turn now.
Has Kozar been?
Yes. Yeah, he attacked the other bandit.
Okay, cool. Keenan will then run up to the guy that just made the save, the captain.
Okay. How fast your movement?
With 30 feet. So
yeah,
as
you'd be
far as
here.
yeah. Bonus action is going to activate the poison on one of
Okay.
his daggers, and then is just going to try and stab him in the back.
Very nice.
That would be one cocked dice. A 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
Cool. 5 piercing damage, and can he do a Constitution save, please?
Constitution. 23.
Saves. Just checking. Yep, that's action, bonus action movement. That's everything from me.
Okay. This one is asleep. Persephone, it's your turn.
Oh, damn it. Most of my spells require concentration. This is fine. This is fine. Sorry. I guess since I've seen Big Boy stand up, I will guide and bolt Big Boy. Hope for the best. And that is, I don't remember what I have. +6. 21 to hit.
21. That hits.
1. And I've immediately closed my tab by accident. 46. Not you. You can't be trusted. You've got 15 points of damage.
15. Very nice.
Yes, I got 215 damage in a row.
Anything else?
I'm just checking my bonus actions. No. That'll be it.
Okay. The warg is going to go for Pipkin again.
Mm-hmm.
First one is a 28.
Yeah, that hits.
Silvery barbs.
Ooh, very nice. 23.
Nah, it still hits.
That is 26 points of damage.
Oh my goodness.
I'm down.
Okay. Being that you are in the way and the other thing is in the way, he is not going to move yet. He's going to turn to Kozar and try and slash at him with his claw. Just a 12. I can't count. 16. Kozar's AC is a 14. Oh, great. That's always good. So that is 12 points of damage. He is also asleep. Zephyr, is your go.
Hello. Can you, sorry, pan to the left? My voice has decided to crack on me. Can you pan to, yes, the left, just out a bit? Cannot see.
I'm not in charge, so be Emerald.
Emerald.
Sorry?
Can you pan out a bit, please?
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Hello. Okay. Yeah, I'm still just gonna target that walk, I think. Try and get big beastie down. I would like to cast Guiding Bolt
Go for it.
at a level 2.
Yep.
That's a dirty 20.
That hits.
Okay. Oh, that was a terrible roll. 13.
Okay. Anything else? Your spiritual weapons up.
For me, no, but the weapon, yes. Weapon would like to go smack. Weapon. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit.
Okay. Spiritual weapon attempts to hit, but just waves at the warg.
No worries. Kalanthar, it is your turn.
Right. You scroll out a little bit so you can see where I am. Cards.
I'm not even sure where you are,
Oh,
actually.
well, I've
He's over
disappeared.
here.
You're gone. He's just gone from our.
Yeah, he's fully gone, but I see the
You're just
spotlight.
you're just a
That's me, right?
spotlight.
Right. In that case, I'll use my movement to go to the left, and then I will. So I'm in view of the warg.
I'm not sure if
there he is.
Rapture or UFO.
Don't like this.
Oh no! Oh no! Turns out the Grace wasn't a mistake after all. Right. Am I in view of the warg now? Or is it still partially
I would say it's
obscured?
half cover, so you'd have disadvantage.
Okay. I'll go for the dwarf then, or the orc, or whatever it was before. I'll go with Lombo. Yeah, it's a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Cool. It's 8 piercing plus 4 lightning, and then I will bonus action Blood Curse Binding, and I'll do
Okay.
my 1d4 to empower it on the dwarf as well.
Sure.
So that's 1 damage to me. First time I've rolled 2 1s on my Maldips for a long time. So it's a DC 12 strength saving throw. Or its speed reduces 0 and it can't take any reactions until the end of my next turn.
That is a 10.
Okay. So the amplified one, it lasts a minute. And they can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns instead.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I can do. So,
All right. Pipkin, do you want me to roll your saves, or do you want to roll them?
Please roll them for me.
Okay. Those two are still running. It is the captain's turn. He has no reaction, and he can't move, right?
yeah. So you can still attack. You just can't react to anything or move.
Yep, sure. He is going to go for Keenan. Both of those miss. Keenan, it's your turn.
I was on mute then. Yeah, Keenan is going to look to the side and is just going to almost whisper, come on, little one. Time to get up and face the day and cast Healing Word on Pipkin.
Awesome.
Well, that changes my entire action.
You get 8 points of healing.
Thank you.
And then is going to look back at the dwarf in front of him, pull out his rapier,
Yep.
and try to attack Zorro style and draw a K in his back.
Ooh.
Of course.
And it's in cursive as well, so it's got the
Of
flips
course,
either side.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Nice. 58. And that is 7 points of damage.
Awesome. Anything else?
That's it.
He
Oh,
is
can he
asleep.
move to the right a little bit so Kozar gets flanking an advantage?
He's one person behind, so that
Right,
person's
fair enough.
asleep
Never
at
mind.
the moment. So Kozar's
Didn't even
like,
see them
here.
sleeping. I didn't even see them. I didn't just notice them.
It's just
Probably
like
right
that
away.
meme. It's like I thought you were dead. I was just having a nap.
Stephanie, it is your turn.
Okay. Sorry, I was drinking. Brr. Then I'm gonna use ominous winds.
Wins.
Ominous winds. I may as well put it on one of the sleeping boys too. I'll pop it on the. They've got to do charisma saves. The big dwarf guy, the sleeping guy between them, and the warg. So I'll move a little bit closer because I think it has 60 feet. So it's
That
on the
is
time
two
with-
18s and a 10.
The one with the 10 fails.
Okay, that's the sleepy boy.
Well, that's unfortunate. And then I don't know. And then and
I have to move a little bit forward, but I
wanna do
can't
that.
control it.
And then for her bonus action, no, because that's another spell. No, she's gonna leave it like that.
All right. As you watch that bandit captain get the etched lovely curse of K like inscribed onto the open part of his armor, and he whistles at the warg, and you watch this thing tense up, all muscles, and it leaps, grabs his cloak as it's passing by, and both he and the warg are gonna land over here. The warg is going to attack Zephyr.
And that strength saving throw being so low.
The first one is a 23.
That hits.
For 22 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
Can I have a Constitution saving throw, please?
You may. That's an 11.
You are poisoned,
Oh no.
and you can't regain hit points.
Yay.
That is its first one. Its second is going to claw you for... Oh, that's a d12. 15.
Does not hit.
Awesome. That is the end of its turn. That guy's asleep, so Kozar's going to skip by him and gain advantage. Kozar, you're a dick. He's asleep.
Why? What do you do?
He missed both times. Zephyrael, it's your turn.
Very rude. Let's see. Both of them are directly, like, within 5 feet, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man. She's very upset with the walk, though, so she's just gonna attempt to grab its face. I don't know how wise that is, and go with inflict wounds.
Bad dog.
Sure.
Just imagine like the King Kong thing with the T-Rex.
That's a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
That's a 23 damage.
Awesome. Anything else?
Where's my sword?
It's currently inside the warehouse.
How much can this sword move? 20 feet. Okay. I don't want to wake up the sleeping man. Yeah, just move 20 feet as close to the warg as it can get. That is good. Thank you.
Callum.
Just imagine it hops like the Pixar lamp.
I love that.
I'll just go for a good old longbow onto the walk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a 26 to hit.
26 hits.
That's 5 longbow. So 5 piercing plus 1 lightning. And bonus actions I could do. Not really. Yeah. And then I'll move sort of diagonally, so I'm like in line with Zeph, so I can run up if I need to on my next turn. So sort of see where Zeph is, go 3 squares down. Can I get there?
Oh, 3 squares
Like-
down.
Yeah, so like diagonally across, but like so I'm 2 squares down from where Zeph is at the minute. So down 1
here.
now. Yeah, can I go down 1 from now?
Yeah.
So I'm there. So I'm like within distance of getting there if I need to, but far enough away that I can shoot stuff still. Right. That's me.
Pipkin.
Yes. I am going to run up to beat the fuck out of the warg. Hopefully, with advantage. That is a nat 20. So that'll be 6 plus 6, 12, no, plus 4 on top of that. 16 bludgeoning damage and 1 lightning damage. Thunder. I keep forgetting. The other one. And for my bonus action, I will do Flurry of Blows.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
That will be 9 bludgeoning damage.
Cool. Anything else?
I will retreat to here.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep. Okay, that bandit captain is going to... Well, he's going to go for Zephyr. Uh, 23 for the first one.
Definitely hits.
For 9 points of slashing damage. And that's a crit for the second.
Silvery barbs on the crit.
Do you know that's why I paused? I was just like, wait. That is 23 for the second one.
That hits.
Damn.
For another 9 slashing damage.
She's going down. She's yelling timber.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah, man.
It's alright, I'll go.
That's the first time I've gone down this campaign.
Oh, that's not
You.
too bad.
You.
We didn't have our we didn't have our saving grace of Twilight Sanctuary.
Is that really the first time you've gone down?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's normally me getting chewed by
Yeah,
something.
because I'm pretty brutal, so the fact that it hasn't been Zephyr. Keenan, it is your turn.
Okay. Keenan is gonna squeeze between that little fire and Kozar. Pat Kozar on the butt. Don't give him bug inspiration, but say, I've seen you hit harder than that. Keep trying. And then is going to stab the direwolf
Mm-hmm.
with his daggers. Uh, 18
18
the first
hits.
one. And 17 on the second.
Both hit.
Okay. He will also pump a psychic blades.
I don't like how you said pump, but please continue.
Psychic blades into one of those hits.
Yep.
I'll do them first. 6 points of psychic damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then just mark that off. Come on. 8 and 9 points of 8 and 5, 13 points of stabby stab damage.
How do you want to do this?
So the first one, he will slice the tendons in the back of the warg's legs, so
Ooh,
it collapses back on its
yes.
haunches. And then he's gonna jump forward and slice its neck from the front. So
Amazing.
from behind, just pull his dagger across.
I love that. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
That is everything.
Okay. Now that these bandits are up, this one is going to fire at you because you just did the killing blow. Nope. Persephone, it's your turn.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Since he's saving against everything that I try and do that's not a hit, I'm gonna whack him with a not whack him. I'm gonna shoot another guiding bolt. Whacking him would not be a good idea. What do I have again? Oh, it's +6. I mean, it hits, but I don't know how much it hits by. 23.
Hits.
You're going in jail because you were rolling very low. Ooh. $19 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
It'll be sort of similar to when she got the vampire from all those sessions ago. It won't come from her hands. It'll look like the stars are traveling up her arms and then building into her chest. And then it just almost looks like it's shooting out of her heart. And just
Unibeam.
burst.
Love it.
Yeah, this beam straight at him.
I've been playing way too much Rivals. Anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
and I just
anything
want
else?
to do. No, actually, no, I don't. That's good for me.
Kozar is going to wink at Keenan and run over here. His first attack is a 23. Slap on the butt, did it? That man is very dead.
Oh wait, she was down. I'm so dumb. I didn't realize.
You can't do anything else, so that is... Oh, that bandit is dead. Zephyr, do you want to roll your death saves or do you want me to roll them for you?
Can you roll them for me, please?
Okay. Kalanthar, it is your turn. There's only one enemy still standing.
Yeah, I'll just go for a good old longbow shot. Oh, come on, a net one. It's an 8, but it's net one.
That misses.
I can't do anything else. So, I guess I'll just run up just in case he goes for a slice on Zeph. So I'm like in between her and the dwarf.
Okay,
Just on the
Pipkin.
off chance.
Yes. Let me check. Ah, easy. I run forward. No disadvantage this time, but I will try to pommel him. That is a math 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Six bludgeoning damage. And I'll do an additional 2 thunder. And he is moved backward 10 feet. And since I've used my unarmed, I get a little bit extra because of the Wave of Drunken Master, and I roll again. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
In case this is the final blow, I will use non-lethal damage for 5. No,
Okay.
sorry, 9 bludgeoning damage.
It is the final blow. As you clock him around the face, he just goes limp onto the floor. Still breathing. But that is the conclusion of the fight.
Quick above table question. With Zeph being poisoned, is Nim the only one who can stabilize her because she can't regain hit points?
I will leave that down. I can't answer that question.
I can stabilize her.
No, but it's because she's poisoned. She can't.
No, I mean
gain
I can
anything.
spare the dying. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
gaining hit points. That's just
That's just
Stabilizing
not
her.
dying.
I was just thinking in my head, like, is there any way we can actually get her up without them being here?
Seth will go over to her and spare the dying, and then she'll try and pump healing word into her and see what happens. But she won't know that she's poisoned. She just sees her friend down. and is
You
like,
are obviously
"No."
able to stabilize her, but as you cast that magic, nothing happens.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, with her very limp noodle arms, she's gonna just like lift her up, very weak, and just sling her over her shoulder so she's carrying her. She's like, if I can carry Roke, I can carry you! Oh!
Make a strength check for me.
I have -1. I'm about to get crushed. It's fine, it's fine. Maybe I'll roll high. 14!
Yeah, you sling her over your shoulder. I will say, how did Nim do?
15, so 14.
Oh, yeah. As you guys watch Persephone's sling Zephyr's body over her shoulder, off amongst the trees, you see a shining glint of armor as you watch Nim slowly pulling this dead dwarf back. There you go.
Keenan said that he'd like to tie up the bandit, but he's just.
Yeah,
popped
I was
off for
going to
a
do the
second.
same. So I can take that action instead of Keenan, since he's gone now.
Okie dokes.
But yeah, I had the same thought. I'm right behind, besides him. Sorry, words. Right besides him. So I would like to take my rope, maybe with the help of Keenan, tie him up,
Sure.
and I would like to slap him awake.
Let me see if he can be woken. You would guess that he would probably, you'd have to wait maybe half an hour.
Can Steph, not knowing this, just go poke him with her staff?
I mean, you're carrying
like she's
Zephyr at the
poking a
moment, so
dead-
no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's just gonna go kick him. She's gonna like kick him with her foot to be like, "What? Is he dead?"
Could I search the main dwarf guy to see if he's got any like goodies on him?
Yes, you may. Let me just bring up.
Oh, goodies.
And, like, does he have like a whistle that controls the wargs out back? Or
No,
anything
it didn't
that?
look like
That's what I'm
he,
thinking
like,
in my head.
He said that he just whistled. Didn't
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
blow a
he didn't
whistle.
have anything on him. You do find a very simple whip.
Mhm.
About 15 gold. Not much else on him.
Okay.
It looks like some dried meats, some raw meats, various looking dog treats, and not much else.
Okay. I'll let the others carry on with their interrogation. I've got some other bits I want to check out, but I'll let that play out first.
Considering our whip is a martial weapon, could I maybe lay claim to it?
Yeah, sure.
Sort of walk up to it and
Mhm.
with kind of a bitter expression, take it and hang it on her side.
Can Seth turn to Keenan and say that we should take these bodies in the building, and then maybe wasn't there cages that were being loaded? Do you remember seeing them?
Yes.
Should we go?
Yeah. I think we
I
should
feel
go
like
check those.
Seth would be safer inside too, so I can set her down.
Yeah. Everyone,
Yeah.
grab a body, bring it into the barn.
Just a thought. These are slavers, right? Think the dog
Almost
might be
definitely
hungry.
saw them.
Yeah.
Think the dogs out back might be a bit hungry. How about we give them dinner?
Disgusting.
Please don't feed them, Zeph.
Yeah, no, she's not. Friend, not food.
Can we save the slaves first, please?
Can we just?
I'm just gonna grab the main guy and start dragging him out the back. So.
Can we just get them in the thing first so that no one sees us?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want anyone to like see us and a bunch of dead bodies and go crying to some authorities.
Sure thing.
I don't want to get arrested again.
Take care of the unconscious guy as best I can with my low strength, but maybe with some dexterity tricks to roll him inside the barn.
I would say you're pretty easy to. You've got a lot of rage at the moment, and that's what is fueling you.
Like
Nim is going to finally get, because she's pretty strong, sling the dead body and then join you guys. And as she sort of walks past, she gives Zephyr a once over and is looking at all of you. She doesn't know because she's not been there.
She's poisoned. She can't heal. Well, I
you
can't
watch as she dumps the body inside the barn, placing one hand on her sword, sort of waves the other and places it on Zephyr's chest, and you watch the magic sort of flow through. She's going to lay on hands and cure your poison and give you 5 hit points as well.
Suddenly, Seth crushes underneath the weight.
Zephyr just starts to wiggle, like, what is going on? Put me down!
Put me down!
I've been captured! No!
I feel like I'm holding a rabid puppy. Yeah, she'll set you down. So like, well, it won't be a graceful set down. It'll be like a panic shove off sort of thing.
Zephyr falls to the ground and probably takes points of damage. 5 exact points of damage.
Body, if we haven't grabbed them all, let's get them inside. Sorry.
Yeah, you've all pulled the various corpses inside. About 4 of you banded together to drag the massive warg back inside the barn and close the doors. You are now inside. It's pretty dimly lit in here, aside from the 2 open skylights in the roof. You're seeing various different pens laid out in this barn. Originally, you would guess it probably used for cattle, and now been repurposed. A couple of them do have some people inside. There's maybe 6 still in here, and then the people that Pipkin saw leaving.
Since I'm not holding Sepha anymore, Seth would probably head straight out towards the back where she saw those crates being loaded in.
Okay.
As she walks past any cages, if they're like unlocked, she'll just try and give them a tug to open them as she walks by.
None of them are unlocked.
Okay, and then she'll be like, "That's someone else's problem," and she'll just keep going towards the crate.
Keenan's going to call out to the rest of the group and say that they were loading crates out the back, we think, with more people in, and is going to follow Persephone.
I just didn't explain. I just left.
Yeah,
Can one of
Keenan at least
you-
takes the moment to explain.
Can one of you roll a perception check, please?
Do you want to do
Seth, you're in the lead.
it? Okay. I forget what it is. Is it a +4? Hold on, let me double check. I think it's a +4. Yeah, so 17.
I'm just gonna check something. Okay. As you are reaching towards the end, you're literally face to face with the door. It swings open, and you are face to face with another dwarf. You have a split second to do something.
I
Oh
stab him.
God. I was about to say she'll like slap him in the face with inflict wounds.
Okay. Yeah, both of you roll your dice.
Just in panic. Just ah! I'm like 22. Summoning a cat.
20 and 21 to hit.
Okay. As that door swings open, you're both and if you watch it from the other side, like outside the back door, you just see this dwarf flying, like completely dead out the back door across the ground, and is lying in a pool of blood.
Sep just awkwardly, like, slowly turns to look at Keenan, and then let's pretend that never happened. Keeps going.
Yeah, Keenan kind of like shrugs and then grabs the dwarf's feet and pulls him back into the barn.
The movie that's
Is that
going
the
on in
one
my
that
head
we-
right now is crazy.
Is that the one that we saw earlier? The one that we
yes.
bumped into?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He had it coming. That's good.
So yeah, it was that sort of very sudden scene of the door opening, the door like and then inside the barn. What are you guys up to? So I believe it's Kalinthar, Pipkin, and Zephyr.
Yeah, I would like to tie the unconscious bandit up to a post, seeing as we still need half an hour to have him wake, and I want to make sure he does not sort of weasel his way out. So I want to tie him to a post, a pillar, or whatever, before I dare to search the barn.
Sure. Can you make an insight check while you're doing that?
22.
Cool. Yeah, so he is unconscious. So if you were to get one of your healing buddies to heal him, he would wake up. He's just unconscious and stable.
I look over at the rest and like, I really want to talk to this guy. Could we maybe give him like a little kick? Not a literal kick, but a little pick me up.
I've already left, otherwise I would have helped. I'm so sorry.
More so
It's my
to
last spell stop. I can do cure wounds, but it'll bring up quite a bit. Won't just be a little bit.
Since I'm dragging the dwarf back in, can I shout over? If you give me a moment, I'll I'll make sure he talks. I'll bring you up, give him some health, and I'll make sure that he'll say whatever you want him to. Pipkin.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks.
Wait, don't we all have healers kit? Would that work?
I think that just
I don't have healer's
stabilizes.
kit.
It just stabilizes.
It doesn't give
Okay.
hit points.
Okay. In that case, I'll save my.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it just.
A healing kit only a healer's kit
Stabilizes.
only stabilizes them.
Stabilizes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
The only reason you'd use it is because it gives you proficiency when you're doing your medicine check.
Yeah.
So if you are able to use a healer's kit, then it gives you a proficiency. If you have one and you can't use it, then it's pretty redundant.
So I'll just say to Pipkin, I can bring him up, but he's probably going to be a lot more weight than you want him to be. So
Sorry if you had
is he
that.
definitely secure?
You can always
Yeah,
damage him.
I'll take Keenan up on his offer.
So I'll can I climb up to one of the skylights just so I've got an overview? See if
You
anyone's
can make
coming in.
an acrobatics if you want to see if you can.
Sure, Callum
We
falling in,
know how
but
this
that's-
goes for you,
that's
so
Just
just want you to understand that.
There's an 8 with a +5, old lad.
Yeah. I would there's been this slowly, I'm gonna sort of adjust the canon for it to make sense. There's been a slowly dawning realization that you're not quite used to the gravity that the material plane has. And when you're in the dreaming, Arendor sort of helps you in the way that you move. He's more of an aspect of your physicality. And it's slowly, like after these couple of weeks, it's been dawning on you that it's not quite the same here. And as you try and like leap, you just don't jump as high as you thought. And you're, can't get up there.
Okay. I'll just kind of sit down and pout. In that
I
case.
feel like I really do feel like Callum's just a flightless bird.
Yeah, it's
He's a
literally
penguin.
I really, really
Yeah.
do. He really is.
It's a penguin that's slowly discovering dynamite. That's basically what it's going to.
It's my fight or flight response.
I don't
And
know.
I am a
I'm a
flightless bird.
I feel like it's you're
I'm
definitely
literally
one
turning
of the
into the
penguins from
the
like,
penguins of
Penguin
Madagascar.
Yeah. You're just Rico, like the one that has all the shit, like it swallows all that stuff. That's you.
So Pipkin, you have a little bit of time whilst Keenan is outside to have a look around. If you want, you can. It's very. You don't really need to roll for it. You can see the people in there, so if you want, you can go talk to them. But if you want to roll investigation as well, whilst you're moving around, you can do.
I would like to. I'm looking for my family, sort of tunnel visioning on it. That's a nat 20.
Girl.
I would say you do notice the various different people, and you make a mental note. You're like, let me just keep looking. I'll go back and I'll talk to them in a minute. But you notice off in one side, you would guess maybe where they used to store harnesses and tack equipment, is now just tables, and there's some shelves with a couple of books on them, and you begin rifling through a lot of these things. You find a very similar map that you've seen before of the mines of Cardu Nord, which are very vast. They cover the entire, or most, of the peaks of the Hellfollow, including Iron Ridge, which is the town on the western side that connects with the rest of northern Nivalir. That map that you can see now shows 3 different supply routes, you would guess. One through the deep mines, one through Iron Ridge, and one to the capital. You also find a ledger, a bunch of different size restraints. It ranges from ones that you would guess would maybe fit animals, larger sort of framed humans, some smaller ones, and then some very small ones. I obviously won't go into what that means, but you can take some inference from that. As well as a load of brass tokens that have soft, like dark, etched crimson runes on them.
Hey.
But that is your nat 20. You found everything.
I do generally have no idea what to do with that stuff, so it might be blanking. I head over to the people, and I find the first one closest to the bar. What kind of person do I see?
So there is a sort of very young halfling, quite similar in coloration of the hair to you. It's very like bright, coppery ginger. A little bit shorter, massive curls. You don't really recognize this person, but they are a halfling.
Do you know the Thistlebrooks? Have you seen them? Have you heard the name being spoken?
I think so.
Do you know where they might be?
They left a couple of days ago. I'm sorry.
That's not your fault. We're gonna get you out of here. Don't worry. Where are you from? What's your name?
I'm Cresser, Tumbervale. I'm from Hallow Creek.
Village, but I'll get you back. I return to the unconscious bandit.
Cool. Okay, we'll quickly flick out to the outside, where you can see a bunch of different loading equipment, a lot of weights and pulleys, 4 massive wagons. They look like they each would have about 6 horses attended to them at a time, with 3 very large-looking crates that look very familiar to you. 2 of those crates are empty. One of them, you can see there's a soft movement inside as you're approaching it.
Seth is going to, rather than like opening it straight away, she's going to sort of hesitate because she's like, oh, what if it's another warg or some shit? And she's just going to call out and be like, hello? Is anybody in there?
You hear like a soft purr? Is it purr? It's very hard to describe the thing that I'm picturing in my head. It's like a tinkling bell like purr. Yeah.
Is it like something we've heard before?
I would make a nature
I was thinking
check.
of like that lynx from before, that like vapor lynx thing.
Yeah, you make a nature check.
For nature. God. Ah, 0. And it's
0.
16.
Okay.
No.
I was
I
like,
mean, I have a
what?
plus 0. It's a 16.
Let me find. So inside, this looks to be like a long branch crosses most of this cage, and there's 3 rather large looking furred, you would guess maybe an owl? You're not too sure. If you want, you can make wait, you already made it. I'd say with that it's probably enough. You have seen these in Kaloria every now and then. They're called a feline fowl. They're a songbird. They're about medium sized. They look like a cross between a cat and an owl. That's the best I can describe them. So they've got a very round looking face and then like pointed, beautiful furred ears on the top.
Are they known to be dangerous? Or
No,
docile?
they're unaligned. They don't really have a. They're just a natural creature.
Is there like a lock on it, or is it
On the cage? Yeah.
chained or something? Yeah. Seth is gonna look at Keenan and be like, "Can you do something about this?"
And Keenan is going to try and pick that lock.
Yeah, maybe a sleight of hand.
You can have my
Sure.
guidance too, since she's asked you to do something. She'll sort of put her hand on your shoulder.
Very cool. Oof, 12.
Unfortunately not.
Does it look like a sturdy lock?
It's a very sturdy lock. It's dwarven made.
Okay.
I'll send your better half
I-
out.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then are you turning around and walking back inside?
Turn around going in so that I can then help Pipkin and send Koza out to pick the lock.
Yeah. In the meantime, for those inside, you have watched as Kozar is methodically working his way around the room. He hasn't really said much. And there's a very... It's not scorn, it's just... There's like a mix of despair and judgment just etched on his face constantly. And he's very methodically, tunnel vision, working on unlocking all of these locks, and has unlocked pretty much all of them. As you walk in, and looks up, gives you a nod, and a sort of high five as you walk past, and then like you're tagging each other.
Can't do
in.
that one. You'll need to give it a go. And then Keenan's going to call out for Pipkin and say, "Are you ready to do this?"
Oh, I am beyond ready.
Okay, just stand here for a minute while I deal with him, and then he'll be all yours. I promise. And I kind of like position her so that she's in sight line of this prisoner. I know he's unconscious at the moment.
Yeah.
So first thing I'm going to do is cast Healing Word to bring him up.
Yep.
So he gets 6 points of healing.
Cool.
And then I'm going to spend a minute telling him about Pipkin's adventures and how she crushed someone's skull with one bare hand,
Just bare hands?
pummeled someone to death with 1,000 blows. You name it. How like she drinks the blood of her enemies, and I'm going to do words of terror.
Oh shit! So what do I have to roll? Or do you
That's
do
what
it?
I'm just checking. It is a wisdom save of 15.
Okay. That is an 18.
Okay, so
As he sort of
saves.
comes to life, you can see he's very, like, typically dwarven, like dark hair, big beard, bushy eyebrows, sort of looking at you. He doesn't believe you.
Fine. I'll spend another minute then persuading him that if he doesn't cooperate with Pipkin, he won't just die, he will suffer terribly. And I'll describe many methods of torture that I've been trained in.
Okay.
Yeah, classics like pulling out nails and...
Make me a persuasion or intimidation, I'll let you choose. Whatever one's better for you.
I'm trying to intimidate him. Persuasion I'd roll better, but I'll intimidate him. And that is a 25.
I rolled a natural 1.
You're gonna win either way.
As eventually it begins to like sink in. I would say because your intimidation is so high, there isn't an aspect of realization you see crossing across his face as you're describing some of the things, not about Pipkin, but about you, that he has heard of, being a dwarf. They are very... it's not quite like Lord of the Rings, they hate each other, but they are very wary of one of the oldest races in this world. And given that they have a lot of time to dedicate to some things, some of the things you're describing do sound pretty accurate to him, as that is crossing.
Given my history, that they will be accurate because these are all methods that I have been taught. Whether I do them or not is something else.
I will say for the rest of you, you are also overhearing this, so you get a little bit of a realization as Keenan's all too accurately describing some ways of torture. There's a little bit of inkling towards the darker side of that very, like, graceful and light aspect that a lot of the elves seem to give across. There's that tainted darkness that you're now coming to understand does
Oh my
lie
God.
beneath part of their culture. I'd say as well, with the sort of intonation that Keenan is speaking with, that maybe his specific, the way he was brought up, might be a little bit more turbulent than you've come to become accustomed with a lot of elven culture. Given that he grew up in Ixalora, that would probably be why.
I love
And
that you're
then-
doing this while Seth isn't there, so she doesn't do it. She just thinks you're the perfect little boy.
Yeah, yep. And
But
he's
yes.
so matter of fact and pragmatic about it, like
Yeah.
excruciating detail. And just when he judges the time is right, he'll like nod at Pipkin and kind of like hand over the interrogation to Pipkin.
I step forward with just pure bitterness and rage on my face. Where are the Thistlebrooks? Where did you take them?
Okay. You see, it has had a massive impact, whatever Keenan might have done. He's very wide-eyed looking at you. I don't know. We just send them to Iron Ridge. That's all we get told.
I grab him by the neck. Let's try this again. Where are the Thistlebrooks?
That's all he knows. That they were, sorry, it's funny. They were sent to Iron Ridge. That's all he gets told.
It's fucking harder than it would be, than it has to be. She's frustrated. She's not buying that. That's all the info she would get. She takes out the whip and she's going to strike his neck.
Ooh, okay.
Looks.
Do I roll?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
That's a 19 to hit. Assuming that hits.
19 does hit, yeah.
That is 5 slashing, I think it is, damage.
Okay. As you watch like a deep wound begin to open on his neck, literally all he knows is that they're taken to Iron Ridge.
Perhaps blinded, not it falling on deaf ears. She gets up in his face. Do you value your life? Where are they? How do we free them? Where do we get them? What? Everything you know, or your life ends right here, right now.
They're up in Iron Ridge. They have a waiting day, about a week, and then they're sent to the deep mines. And you can see that blood begin to flow a little bit more.
I snap his neck.
Okay, you just. And
Useless. And I walk away. I just go busy myself with Kozar's freeing things, sort of away from socialization.
Okay.
Very, very unapproachable.
You and Kozar uncover, like I said, about 6 people. There's an elderly-looking halfling. He's a male. You find 2 twin halfling girls. Chrysar's in there, the young ginger halfling. 1, 2, 3, 4. You find a human girl and a half elf as well.
Okay. I sort of try and ask them their names and their villages, sort of make a mental note. I'm not very organized, so I'm not writing this down. I'm just sort of, right, you're from that village. Okay. Sure.
I mean,
Try
I
and
can,
remember.
Kalanthar is in there, so I would expect that Ben will probably write these down. one of them is called so there's Cressa Tombervale. They're from Hallow Creek. Lyra and Laria Fenwick. They're two twin girls. They're from Breckmore. Carla Belstrick, who's a human girl. She's actually from Firenze, but she got quote unquote arrested by these mercenaries after speaking out about something she saw because she couldn't sleep and obviously discovered what was happening. And the half-elf is called Merrin Dovetail, and they are a map maker from Breckmore as well.
About half of them, I'll be honest.
Some of the halflings are wearing what appears to be different shades of tartan in different patterns. The twin girls you see, rather than tartan, they're hexagons. As you would guess, that maybe Breckmore have a slight twist on the way that people from Greenhill would arrange their family tartan, and I would guess that you've also seen Pipkin at one point holding different books and a couple of maps as well, given that you are a very intrigued person in that area, Kalanthar. You would also note that she does have those on her person.
Okay, I'll wander up to Merrin and just ask if I can have and I'll pull out the map that we had initially,
Mhm.
and just say, do you know where they were, like, moving prior to you coming here? Like, did you
Prior to
recognize any
coming
of the
here?
landscapes? Yeah, so like whilst they were like getting transported, did they see
Yeah,
anything that was of
they
interest?
come from Breckmore, so they moved from. Let me find it on my notes. Celestria. Breckmore. So it's just south of Hosetown. It's just above the N in Elindrian, above the rune-bound roadway, at the bottom of the
Okay.
Hellfaller Peaks.
Oh, okay. So they probably wouldn't have seen much then.
No, they tell you that a lot of the time they're kept obviously in the various different cages. There was one point they came across a load of soldiers and were left in a very similar warehouse for about a week, with only water that they were collecting from rain because the mercenaries had scarpered in order to try and avoid the soldiers. Aside from that, I don't remember much else.
Describe the I can't remember the name of the group, but you know, the soldiers that were marching through that we helped with the poison water source. Just describe their colours and all that sort of stuff to her and say, is that the soldiers you saw?
It is not. No, she gives you a description of a lot of greys and greens that they were wearing. All of their armor is always a very light silver, with etchings of various different elven filigree on it. What they're confused about is that a lot of the filigree looks elven, but it's not. The longer you talk to them, the more they are describing the armor that you are currently wearing.
Do they not realize that themselves?
No, because it's the ones they saw are like armored.
Yeah.
Whereas Kalanthar is obviously he wears more light leathers and things like that. So the only
I'm wearing a breastplate.
yeah,
Breastplate at the minute. But...
yeah, the only similarities that they have is that it's a very similar design. Callan, you know that in the Dreaming, it's a mash of cultures. So when they create their armor, you've got sort of dwarven, elven craftsmanship, and then the newer, sort of modern, more human, and then the varying races that came after styles. So the only reason it sings with you is because you have seen all the different creations that come out of there. They always are made in that very light blue, silvery metal, which is what the thing that speaks to you the most.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, we're just gonna quickly switch to the outside. Yeah, Kozar is outside with you now, Persephone. And he will try and unlock it. Yep, that's a crit. He sort of leans down. You can see sort of the small etchings where Keenan had been before. He's like, and does something else. And after a while, you hear a very large clunk, and the lock comes off.
Can Seth sort of move slowly and carefully as she opens it?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to like startle the animals inside.
Yeah, make me animal handling, please.
That's a nat 20.
Easily done. Very slow, very careful movements.
Sorry.
But yeah, if you check the chat, that is a feline fowl. They're about the
So
size of
cute.
a very
Oh my
large
God.
house cat. Not a house cat, very large dog. That's what I meant.
Okay. Is it like elevated at all? Like, or is it on the ground next to
Yeah,
it?
so there's a long branch that sort of spans the inside of this specific cage.
I mean the cage is like on the ground.
It's on the wagon at the moment, so it's about 4 feet off the
it's
ground.
above us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they do anything as she opens it, or do they all just stay inside?
With how careful you are and how sort of the soothing presence you're trying to give off, they do look your way, but they seem pretty calm considering the whole situation.
Do I know what kind of things that they eat?
Yeah, you know exactly. They eat a variety of small rodents, pretty much like cats and owls do.
So over this was outside.
They're just gonna be like, I don't have anything to feed them, but I want to lure them out. Not lure them out. I want to encourage them to come out.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
You watch as Kozar's just like, okay, and then he just walks into the woods.
What? Where? And she's gonna climb onto the wagon and slowly inch her way closer to the entrance of the cage. And then just kind of seeing how they react to her getting closer. Are they going to be aggressive
with your crit? As long as you don't make any sudden movements, they are fine with you being in there.
Once she's inside, she's going to crouch down. And she's going to like hold her palm out very slowly. Softly, she's going to hold her palm out. She's not got anything in there, obviously, but she's just trying to, you know, like in How to Train Your Dragon when he holds his hand out. She's just doing that just to gently see if they move closer to her, just to see if they can like sense that she doesn't mean them any harm.
Yeah, the closest one, they're more like a dappled grey color. I'd say with you got a crit, so this one is called a bobtail owl, and there's another one in there called a Russian bluebird.
Cute. Do any of them like come closer to me as I'm reaching out?
Yeah, one of them sort of leans Gives you a little sniff.
She's just gonna keep that sort of distance. She's not gonna reach out to touch them. She's just gonna try and convey that she's not one of them that were hurting her, and she's gonna try and talk to them while saying that. So she's gonna be like, I'm not with them. I just want to set you free. Just trying to remain calm and peaceful until Kozar gets back.
Yeah, you can keep doing that. They're
Yeah,
slowly
she'll stay in that
becoming
position.
more accustomed to you and your presence, and very soft and very sweet.
Okay, she's gonna stay like that then until someone comes out or something.
Cool. Back inside. What are you guys up to?
We don't want to go out, but I don't know what's been going on, so I'm just gonna follow what the others want to do.
Keenan is when the prisoners, for want of a better word, aren't looking, he's going to go around to each of the dwarves and he's going to cut off their beards. If he takes a bit of skin with it, so be it. But yeah, basically scalp them, but chin scalp them.
Cool. As you're going through all of that, do you want to make an investigation check? As you're rifling through some of their stuff.
Nice. 18.
Very nice. You find a small mirror on one of them. It's just very simple looking, like wooden frame and a mirror. A silk handkerchief. And roughly 310 gold pieces.
Cool. How many prisoners did you say there were?
As the 6.
Okay, thank you. So when he's finished chin scalping the dwarves, he's going to go around to each of those prisoners and give them 50 gold.
Okay. Yeah, they're all very, very grateful as they're looking at what is essentially more than their yearly salary. All give you thanks and begin like shuffling their way into the main corridor of this barn. They look like they don't quite know what to do with themselves. That's the best you can ascertain. I'm not sure where to go, where they are. Yeah.
That will won't make up for what you've been through, but it will at least help you in the next steps.
Thank you. Where do we go?
Well, where would you want to go? Do you want to go home? We could perhaps arrange an escort for you to go home. You're currently where are we, Kalen?
Last I checked, we were like somewhere above the ruins, like going through the mountain. We went over the mountain bridge, didn't we?
So yeah, you're at the pretty much you're a day's ride from Iron Ridge. That's the best you can tell. You haven't really heard about this town before, so.
Iron Ridge is like at the top of that
The
river,
top of the
above
river.
Housetown. Yeah.
Don't send them to Iron Ridge. That's where they're trying to take them. Don't do it.
Well, we could say they just head south. They could either head towards
Just send
Housetown.
them the way we came.
That's the way we did come, wasn't it? South. Well,
I have
we
no
came from
idea. I'm
north.
not looking at a map, but I'm just.
I haven't seen those. You know that group from the army that kind of
Just thinking that.
travelled out with us. I haven't seen them for a bit. We could perhaps task them with getting them back to.
Well, they
How
were
are we gonna
heading.
reach them?
They were heading to where I'm from.
Sorry, I'm not there. I'm
in
gonna mute.
Swellwood. So they were heading like way down, like past
Right.
Az's Roller to the Shimmering Pools. To like,
Yes.
Counts
You
well.
know that the what the fuck is their name? The Scouts of the 6th Northern Nivellir Battalion Royal Guard are making their way. It's so I made it deliberately long. It's funny. They're making their way to. They were going to Lassilel, and you would guess that after they went there, they would go to the next town over, which was Hosetown. So you could send them down to Hosetown.
yeah. Okay. I'll unfurl the map we've got and go over to Mirren and just say, follow this over to Housetown. There's some mercenaries that we met that owe us a favour. So you mentioned that you know us, and I'll go around and just say, I'm Caelan, and let the others introduce themselves if they want to, just so they've got names to reference when they get there. And just point them in the direction of Housetown, just to hope that they don't run into any more trouble. And I'll hand one of them my hand crossbow. I don't use my light crossbow, sorry. And give one of the others the shield I've got on me that I don't use anymore as well. Just so they've got a little bit of defense if they need it whilst they're traveling until they meet up with the mercenaries.
Yeah, inspired by that, Keenan gives one of them that is of a suitable size, probably the half elf, the leather armor that he doesn't use anymore.
Okay. Yeah, Merrin does like begin putting on. He is a map maker, but much like many elves, it takes a while to gain into maturity, and during that time, they do teach them a lot of forest skills. So.
And then it's just gonna firstly clean himself up for prestidigitation, and then he's gonna settle down with the very little ones, and start entertaining them with like lights and stories and things to just take their minds off things.
Yeah. There's two. Obviously, the twins. They're about 12. Their names are Lyra and Laria. And they're sort of very young halflings, very enamored with you already.
Yeah. It's just like little twinkling lights that kind of like he'll start by doing a magic trick and putting one out from behind one of their ears, and then like another one appears, and kind of just fully entertain them, trying to take their mind off what they've just been through.
Cool. Pipkin, anything else?
Nope. I just want to go to Iron Ridge, but we can't at the moment. So.
All right. Outside, Persephone, you hear a couple of soft footsteps. No crackling of twigs or anything else, other than you suddenly feel another presence nearby the cage, and Kozar's standing there holding 3 very dead squirrels in his hand.
Okay. Nim. Seth will take one of them and sort of hold it out in like between both of her hands because her hands are considerably smaller than his, and she'll hold it like a bowl, making a bowl with her hands with one of them, and just hold it out to one of the animals.
You watch as it very gently like sniffs at it, opens its mouth a little, and then all of a sudden you just see this quite soft beak just.
She like fully like giggles, and then she'll go, "I'm an adult," and then she'll slowly back up a little bit further out of the cage. So she's at the cage door, and she'll take one of the squirrels and she put it by the cage door.
Okay.
See if any of them come towards it, and she'll, while doing that, she'll be like, "It's okay, you're free."
Yeah, you do see they sort of leap down onto the cage and begin softly exploring the fringes before they step out.
She'll like take that moment to slowly move one of her hands towards them. Just as slowly and carefully as she was before, and she wants to see if she can touch like behind one of their ears. She wants to kind of check them for any tags. Doesn't know if these, I'm gonna call them poachers, like tagged them in any kind of way or injured them. She wants to see if there's like any, like even if there's like any collars or anything like that.
No, as best you can tell, these would be wild.
Okay. Then she'll slowly climb off the wagon and grab the last squirrel and put it on the floor. Wagon. Sort of try and gesture slowly for them to like come over and just that they're free now.
You do watch all three of them jump down. One of them picks up the last squirrel and they begin tentatively sort of finding their way. A couple of minutes go by. Eventually you see they're brave enough as they sort of flap these feathery, slightly furred wings and run up a tree before sort of half gliding onto the next branch, softly disappearing into the distance.
While they're like leaving, without even looking at Kozar, Seth is just gonna like link her fingers with him while she's watching them sort of skip off into the distance. That was really emotional for her, but she can't explain why.
I can, but anyway. I would say as you're watching them leave off into the distance, it does dawn on you, and I would say you even begin to feel that well of emotion. Feline fowls are only found in Kaloria. Aside from their migration patterns that sometimes take them beyond to the next continent, the only linked land continent being Elendrian, they often migrate south, sometimes for mating patterns, as it's warmer in Elendrian than it is in Kaloria. They often skirt the fringes of the plains and deserts of Sabsathul and have 1 day of flight between Sabsathul and the next region over, which I don't remember the name of. Grenhaven, before they make their ways down, and often are found mating or lingering during the mating season in the Spirewood, and it's sort of this mass migration that takes about a couple of months for them to reach. And you would guess that they probably took them during this migration.
Did they look like young, or did they look older?
Pretty young, yeah. You saw a male and 2 females, so you would guess that maybe 2 of them are a mating pair.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just give Kozar's hand a little squeeze, and then she wants to like would she have noticed the like change in him when he came out? You know, when you said that he was like with despair and disappointment or whatever. As they sort of disappear into the distance, without even looking at him, she's just gonna say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'll be fine. Just old memories.
You've been my ear when I've been complaining all this time, so I can always be yours.
You see he
Oh, sorry.
rolls up. Not rolls. He undoes one of his gauntlets and takes off very slowly. And there's a leather band that you've always seen him wearing, even when he's showering, things like that. And after he undoes
Not
that,
that I've seen him showering.
swimming, you know, whatever. There is a tattoo on his arm of 3 serpents entwined together in a triangle. You've never seen it before. You're not sure what it means. But the way he's sort of like brushes it with part of his hand. It definitely means something, for sure.
She is going to put her hand on top of it too, just to show, like, she's gonna like almost cover it with her palm so that he's not looking at it, like sensing that sort of pain in him. She's just gonna sort of cover it with her own hand and just give him this sort of understanding look, sort of empathetic, like, it's okay, you don't have to talk about it, but I'm here.
A little bit more time passes. He puts the gauntlet back on. Right, we should get going. And guides you guys back.
As he does that, she's gonna like wrap her tail around his ankle and trip him up a little bit as she walks by, just to try and make him smirk or laugh or something.
Love it.
To lighten the mood for a second.
But yeah, you all sort of rejoin as the former prisoners begin making their way out the front door and orientating themselves. You see one of them, the sort of elderly male halfling, goes up to one of the citizens in the town, and they're sort of talking. You see a wash of relief over one of the townsfolk, before they nod very quickly and they lead them towards the stables, and you can see they're beginning to arrange them some horses and things like that. You don't need to roll for it. You would gain the inferences that they're slightly more relieved now that the mercenaries aren't actually in the town, although more are always roaming around. But you would guess that the fact that one of them told them that the warg trainer is now dead was a little bit of a relief, because he's a bit of an arsehole. But yeah, you are standing together once more.
Upon seeing the guy with the snapped, bleeding neck, Seth's gonna pause and be like, "The fuck did I miss?"
Alan killed a prisoner again.
Gallon?
It wasn't me this time. Just throw it out there. My dark pet's coming in a minute. Stand by.
I'm sorry?
As he just literally goes over to the taskmaster dwarf and just starts dragging him off.
Okay. Not sure I want to know what
doing?
happens.
He's gonna feed it. You can't. If you open that cage, they're gonna get out.
I'm not gonna open the cage.
No,
He's going to chop the body up into like small pieces that he can poke through the holes.
That's literally what Seth is saying. She's like, you said you wanted to feed them, but you know the second you open that cage, they're going to eat you. Don't open the cages.
You just see him just stringing him up. in the corner.
Oh god.
Just pulling the sword.
I don't want to look. I don't.
He
Don't
literally,
stand away.
he literally just looks back and just goes, "Do you really think I would do that?"
Yes.
Just, he's like taking a piss at me.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Good. And then
What?
he just walks back. He just walks back to everyone else, but just leaves the guy hanging in the corner like a piece of meat.
Love it.
You've just made an effigy.
Pretty much. My plan was basically when we leave and we've got everyone out, I was going to let the dogs out inside the barn and just let it eat all the bodies, so it looks like a big, like they just got
Stopping them
loose.
from like, what's stopping from them from like getting out and?
It's a
killing people?
barn. It's made for cattle. I'm pretty sure it would withstand them, right?
I don't know. That big one was big and strong and scary.
other
If
one's
they got
smaller,
out,
right?
then yeah, they would quite easily smash through parts of the barn. But they are currently caged up, so.
You just leave them in the cages, or like maybe we can. No offense to them. Maybe we can just kill them in their cages. Stabby, stabby. You know?
It's not really their fault, though, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, if they get out we'll leave it up to the town. We'll tell them that they're there. Maybe because I don't.
Mhm.
I feel like we've done them enough favors by getting rid of these people, but
Yeah,
I
let
don't
the
want.
town
want to-
decide.
Yeah, I just don't want to be responsible if they get loose and kill the town. They are, even though they were trained by that guy, they're still wild animals, right? That need to eat. Is that the
Unless you-
same amount of wargs as we saw when they were all chasing us originally?
It was 12 initially.
Or is that, yeah, or is there less now?
There's a couple less. You would guess that maybe he sends them out hunting or things like that. But most of them, there's enough cages that you would guess that they are inside the cages.
Okay, sorry. What is the plan? Sorry, I was freeing some of the contained animals. What are we doing?
No, we didn't really have a plan for where we go next, or
Oh,
Pipkin's
out there
got some
for so
places she
long.
wants to go, but we haven't really discussed it as a group just yet. But I'm down for whatever. We've got the herb and everything that we need for the cure now, right?
We don't have all of them, I
Yeah.
don't think.
I think we
No,
have.
we need
everything,
to
don't
We need
Well,
to
we
meet
need
up with
restore
Ellie.
Keenan's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need to meet with Ellie, don't we? For the last few.
I mean, so
That
the
to do-
plan A
go to
was to
the
wait here
northern.
and do the heist in the evening, but we've done the thing now, so
The heist in the morning.
yeah. So we can either leave now or rest up and then leave,
a rest
or
and
leave tomorrow
leave.
morning.
I think we should get
Oh,
a rest and leave.
If we can, it's probably best that Keenan does this out of anyone. But if we can gauge what the townsfolk actually thought of these people, and then kind of gauge whether we tell them what's happened or not.
He
They've
did
already been
say that
told.
we saw that they
Oh,
were
they have been told.
relieved.
They've already been
yeah.
told, yeah.
He said that they
Okay.
looked relieved.
Oh, in that
They
case,
helped,
then we
they
don't have
and
to
they
worry.
were willing to help the prisoners with like horses and stuff. So I imagine they're quite sympathetic.
Well, in that case, I guess we just rest up and wait to hear from Ellie, I guess.
Without sounding gross, I'm gonna go sleep with Jim.
Still sounded gross.
Does that mean I can sleep with Kazar?
I don't control you or Kozar. You guys can do whatever you like.
Well, normally, like you two sleep in proximity,
We
but if you're
don't-
sleeping with Jim,
I don't sleep with Kozar. I
mm-hmm.
sleep in my own room, and he just
Yep.
so happens to sleep outside. That's not. Like she's saying that, fully aware that like when it was just those two on the road together, they always slept in the same room for like safety. So she's like, no, I always have my own room. She's lying through her teeth. Always have. I don't think I've ever slept in the same room with Gozar. Anyway, to Jim.
I will say it is still, it's about noon at the moment, so you still have a good half a day of whatever you might want to do.
Damn it,
Could I-
not to
could I
gym.
go check out
Gym
that
in the
bookshop?
evening.
If you want.
I remember reading about the bookshop last time. I was like, I didn't get to go, so I'll have a little posy around there whilst we're having a bit of downtime.
Can
See if
I
there's
take
anything interesting.
Pipkin to the pub?
Yes, you may.
Can
Wherever,
ask...
wherever
No, no, go ahead.
Persephone dropped Zephyr, Zephyr just crawled up in a little ball and went to sleep.
No.
It's like, I've had enough. I didn't like my little nap time, but I'll have another nap time.
No, okay. First of all, Seth wouldn't leave her. She was sleeping. So before Keenan left, she'd be like, "Can I have your book and a quill or like some chalk or something to write another letter in your
Sure.
little notebook again?"
Yeah, no, of course. I mean-
And I'll return it to you when we meet up later.
Okay.
And then she'll sit down next to poor Zephyr on the floor, sort of keeping a watchful eye over her, and she'll start scribbling down writing in this book. Probably could have asked someone to carry her, but where's the fun in that?
Let me find the not the library, the bookshop. Where are you?
I was writing this thing that I was writing earlier.
The Ivory Quill Bookshop. That's what it was called.
Fancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very small-looking, cluttered place. It is open, and as you walk inside, very like tall walls just lined with books, and you get that very musty smell hit you on the way in. There's quite a young looking woman, human woman behind the front desk. Little glasses peaked on her nose, and you can see she's scribbling something with a quill. Looks up, gives you a little nod as you enter.
Hi. Was just wondering if I could have a look around. Is it right just to venture around myself, or is there anything in particular that you'd recommend?
I mean, depends what you're looking for, but yeah, this is a shop. That's usually what you do.
Yeah, I don't tend to go into shops like this often. And he just like walks off as awkwardly as possible because he just doesn't know, and then just starts looking for anything around herbalism or like anything to do with like machine books or anything like that, like anything about like artificery or anything like that. See if there's anything in there, even if it's like a idiot's guide, beginners sort of stuff.
Let me find my... Where did I put it? Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay, no idea where I put that, but fuck it. I'll just wing it. Cool. What are you looking for?
Just any books that you can kind of learn a little bit more about. Maybe like a book on traps or something, so you can learn a bit more about mechanisms, or a book on herbs to like further expand on the one you had from Barabbas. Just expand a little bit of knowledge once a bit of reading material, other than just writing sappy love letters.
Make me an investigation.
That's an 18.
Yeah, you find a book written by a man named Algernon that details a lot about different traps and very common usage in the sort of criminal element. It does have a signature that you don't recognize because the other person isn't here with you. But it is specifically something you might have seen on Keenan's person at one point. Aside from that, you can find maybe a couple of cookbooks, a herbology on different edible plants, and that's about all you find.
Okay. I'll grab the one on traps and the herbology one. Just see if I can pick up a few little bits to kind of help with understanding how plants interact with heat and all that sort of stuff for doing this whole tincture cure thing that we need to do. It's just trying to like piece together like odds and ends to try and work out different bits, basically.
The book on traps is 200 gold. That is a lot, Jesus. And the herbology is 50.
I'll go with the herb one then, because I can't afford the other one.
You also find... I just found some of my notes. You also find a bunch of other different books. There's one called The Persistent Flower, and quote-unquote, The Sad Tale of a Life of a Destitute Maiden. It's 30 gold and has 479 pages. There's also Rigorous Errors of the Halflings, The Fundamentals of the Elves, and Findings of the Residents of the Swamps of the Tear-Stained Wetlands. But that is it. Yeah, you can get the herbalism one, which is the theory of wilderness and using plants in cookery. It does build upon a lot of your knowledge that you have already, being that you are an outlander. I will say that you can... I'd say whilst you have this book, you can add a +1 to your nature.
That's the wrong button.
So if you click on customize, you can add skill miscellaneous bonus.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong one. I clicked override, so it was nothing.
But yeah. Keenan and Pipkin are heading off to the tavern. Everyone else joining them, or what else are you doing?
I'm staying with Sleep and Zephyr.
Roll, and if it's above 10, she wakes up. If it's below 10, she's asleep.
That's adorable.
She's asleep.
Okay. Is Kozar going with them? Or is he staying?
Kozar looks to be following you.
I'm sat down like right next to Zephyr in this barn.
He's sitting with you.
Can she hide what she's writing from him?
Make a sleight of hand. I'm not sure what you're currently trying to hide, so.
No, it wasn't good. It was like 10.
Yeah, that's a 25. He can definitely see what you're writing.
Oh well, in that case, I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's written down in my notebook. I literally started to write it earlier. There and then. It's very long though, so maybe he won't see it all, unless he's watching her word for word. Oh my god. Okay, let me send it to you. Then you can do whatever they want to do.
I think with the 25, he's probably been taking cliff notes the entire time.
Yeah, not great for me, to be honest, because it's a very
Like
embarrassing.
he's color coded the notes like you do.
I'll tell you, she wrote a similar letter for it's her in case I die letter. She wrote one for Thorn, and now she's writing one for him, and it's It's gonna be really embarrassing when you read the first line on the second page.
just looking over at the reaction, but I came for the right reaction.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. She thinks
make
she's
me
hiding it really well.
Make me a perception check real quick.
Oh, you know what? I rolled an 18, so shit, hold on, 22.
Okay.
Do I see him watching me?
Oh yeah, you see him notice. You don't see anything else.
She'll like rip the page out. After she's written it all, she'll like rip it out, fold it up, and then does he have like any pockets?
Yeah, he's a rogue. He has multiple pockets.
Yeah, does he have any like on his chest, like any like on his top, or is it just in his pants?
I'm trying to figure out. He keeps his swords at his back. He's got a sling belt, so yeah, he's got pockets on that.
She'll like one of the pockets on the belt. She'll open it and she'll shove it inside, close it, and then she'll be like, "Shut up." She'll just sit there, not saying another word, because she's like, "Great, that's not how I wanted that to go." Cool. And none of the rest of you shall ever know.
In character.
Or out of character. I'm not exposed. I didn't even tell you what Thorn's letter said. I'm not showing you what this said. I still have Thorn's letter.
Even gets his notebook back, does a chalk rubbing to see what the writing is.
The thing is, though, if Keenan asked her, she'd probably tell him anyway.
She would.
Okay.
Back to
Keenan
us,
and Pipkin inside the tavern as you walk in. Just once again, very simple looking tavern. You're very able to find a table and sit down. And
What mood is Pipkin in? Does she want to be left alone? Is she angry? Does she want to vent? Where's she at? You're muted, Emerald.
Sorry, I forgot. Pipkin is mostly frustrated. She's not closed off for socializing, but she is visibly upset. She was hoping to see her parents, or at least someone of her family, right here. She really had the inkling she would see them here, and the fact that they're away again visibly frustrates her.
Sure. Okay.
So it's not something she says out loud, but I think context clue wise, Keenan would be smart enough to realize that that is the source of her frustration in her eyes, especially considering she has not willingly killed a humanoid until just now. That is, yeah.
So Keenan will do his usual kind of like, he'll deposit Pipkin at the table that they find, and then go and fetch them a couple of strong drinks. Kind of like smiling and waving to people as he passes, but not really engaging too much because he wants to get back to Pipkin. And he's just going to sit down with her and go, pass her the drink, wait for her to take a drink, and go, we will find them. We'll get there. We'll get you healthy. Yeah.
If it's the last
and then
thing I'll do, we will.
it won't be the last thing to do. It'll be one of the next things that we do. And then he'll just kind of like cock his head to one side and go, "Oh, interest. When was the last time you trained?"
Oh, I think perhaps when we were out camping before going to bed, like that must have been a couple of days ago.
You up for a session?
Sure. Yeah. That sounds good.
Hey, finishes our drinks, and then finds a good spot for a sparring session.
Okay. So, Pipkin will relatively happily, considering, engage in it, and she will try to be careful, try to be not give her all, not because she's not in the mindset, but because she's like genuinely afraid she would hurt Keenan. Like,
Understandable.
Yeah.
So she's kind of half-assing, essentially.
Yeah. And Keenan will get more kind of like cocky to kind of like wind her up. And the whole point of him doing this is to kind of like help work out some of the frustration. So he'll happily take a beating as part of this. So he's winding her up to like get her to hit, to have a workout basically.
I kind of glare at you and do another half-ass punch. And I know what you're trying to do. You do realise that, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I could really seriously hurt you if I really did give it my all. I'm not about to knock one of our own down.
I know.
We need all the strength we get. I mean, I don't want you to be, limping the next couple of days.
You'd be surprised how much of a beating I can take.
I think that's something you need to work out with your therapist, but not with me, honestly.
I'm just saying, don't be afraid of hurting me. It's fine. You've got full permission. I trust you not to go too far. But this is how you can work out where your limits are without killing someone.
She'll throw a little bit of a harder punch. It's still not full power. She'll try and it's a little bit of acting on her behalf. Like, oh, look, I'm trying my best, and really still holding herself back.
And Keenan's gonna taunt a little bit, go, "Come on, you can hit harder than that," and like he'll like dance around her a little bit, kind of get a little bit in her face, but not in a like aggressive way. Like, we both know what we're doing here. It's kind of more of a bonding. We're taking the piss out of each other at the moment.
Love it.
I'm kind of deciding something. I'm gonna roll for myself a little bit to decide.
Go for it.
She kind of half laughs at the taunting and the riling up, up until a certain point where somewhere unintentionally you strike a nerve, and she grabs you by the neck and immediately reels back like, "I'm so sorry. I did not. You're good at riling up, that's for sure."
Yeah, that's the plan, and he kind of like moves down a little bit and kind of kisses her on the forehead if she lets him.
She absolutely does not. Like a toddler running away. She's like, "Get off me! What the hell are you doing? I'm not a child."
Well, I couldn't reach your lips. Do you realise how awkward it is with these long legs?
She kind of looks at him. Keenan, really? Have you, with all your years of life, not realised I like women? I mean, you're lovely and all, but you're the wrong person.
It's
If it's
pretty
not-
androgynous, so.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
not feminine enough for Vivian.
It was not intended in that way. It's intended in the same way as I would kiss Persephone. It's friendship. It's familial love.
I ain't smudging my lips.
Right. We don't really kiss each other on the mouth where I'm from, I'll be honest.
Oh, we
I'm
do it all the time where
flattered.
I'm from.
That weirdly explains a lot, actually. She'll grab your hand and do a little sort of courteous peck up on his end. That's and she's like fully
Keenan, like
and
with you holding his hand, will kind of like pull you round and then like turn it into like a little bit of a waltz dance to kind of like alleviate the moment, make it funny.
I do so wish everything had gone differently.
Yeah, a lot of people, myself included, feel like that. But then, what a boring life we would have led.
Yeah. Can we sit down for a moment? I don't think I've
I thought you'd never
Really?
ask, and he collapses to the floor, sweating.
I don't think I've really entrusted you or anyone with why I'm here, why I met you guys ultimately in that weird little tavern. So my parents, they're tavern keepers. They're lovely people. Everybody loves them. They're so great. They're so hospitable. They're so nice and so amazing and all of that. And you hear a lot of scorn in her voice when she says that. And everybody in Green Hill is so nice. And I've just not really, I don't know, I like a drink, and that's just been a bit of a problem for me in the past. And, mostly harmless, mostly making a fool of myself, getting into fights like I would.
Sounds like a good Friday night.
Yeah, until you spit the lord of your land in the face. Because you're too drunk and too stupid to realise the severity of it. I didn't know what to do, really. I was a coward. I ran. That's what I did, and now my village is taken over by slavers, and I will do everything within my power to ensure the safety of my family, but this has been me. This is my doing. I'm so incredibly certain if I had not done that, they would have not retaliated in such a way that, I don't know. I know I know I behave erratically, but I can't begin to express how heavy this weighs on my conscience.
Please take this fully in the spirit that it's intended. But how important do you think you are that this is all on you, that this is your fault? Personally, I think that landowner and the people doing this are the fucking assholes and the ones that need to be dealt with. Speaking as one of a family of landowners who look after a settlement, you have a responsibility to your people. And that, what you've just described, isn't for the landed. That is a jumped up prick. And I say, you and I give him a bloody good slap and get your family home.
And Pipkin knows this, but Keenan, can you roll a history check, please?
Sure.
All right, no need to shout about it.
That is a 12.
You know that some parts of Elendrian are not controlled by a kingdom or a realm. They are privately owned by lords, much like Pipkin has described. That would depend often. They've inherited it or they have bought it. And within that district of land will be various different villages or towns that they would control and have some authority over. Not completely, but enough to swing one way or the other. Unfortunately, you didn't roll high enough to know specifically what location or people she's talking about, but you do know that it makes some sort of sense of what she's saying.
Yeah. And of course, Miss Pipkin, if once we've given this Toff a bump on the nose and put him in his place, if you and your nearest and dearest and meet friends and family need somewhere to settle, I can recommend a decent place where spitting in the Lord's face will just make him laugh.
You underestimate how different me and my family are, but I'm sure they'll be able to make a home for themselves. They're quite good at adapting to most situations, I suppose. They make a hell of a tavern, I'll have to admit that. Good ale. Lots of it.
I mean, if I was to tell you where I grew up, most people, in fact everyone bar me and my siblings, they've lived a very happy, quiet, peaceful life, farming, carousing, no troubles. Everyone worked together, everyone was friends with it, everyone knows their neighbours, everyone pitches in. It's all very, very, very droll. But some people like that. Maybe your family are the same.
Oh, absolutely. They love boringness.
Oh, they'd fit in so well.
Yeah,
I
they
bet.
would.
Yeah. Children's stories under the tree, told by the Lord. It's sickeningly sweet sometimes.
Oh, tell you about it. As long as they have people to care for, they'll be happy. Doesn't matter who it is. Just babying whoever they come across. That's sort of their thing.
Oh, they will fit right in. Children are considered the most important treasures.
So above table for Keenan, Siltharis, as it's known, most of Siltharis is not owned by anyone. Rather, it's owned by the realm. Lords have dictation over people. They have a collection of different families that are owed loyalty to them. So in a very familiar way, yes, they do have their own groups that they look after and they're responsible for. A lot of that involves making sure they're fed and not fed, making sure they have a home, and that they have access to healing and other resources. Siltharis is one of the most technologically inept, but civilization-wise, they are the most advanced out of most of the realms within Sylvastria, in that they have a very holistic outlook on life, so that each of those people put in power are responsible for another group of people, and so on and so forth. A very commune-esque, but done on a massive scale, essentially. And then each of those families are also led by, eventually, the head of the families, which would be, at this moment in time, a few people. One of those being your mother.
Yeah.
Pipkin, do you name the person you spat in?
Sure. I don't know their name as Emerald, but yes.
Yeah.
definitely.
His name is Lord Casterly Pistlethwaite.
Bless you.
He's about,
Even the name.
yeah, he's about 5'9", and he has the aesthetic appeal of the man from Frozen, in that he's weaselly, has receding hairline and glasses, and a very thin mustache.
And he's a twat.
And he's a massive twat. Very rich, and owns a lot of the land south of the Kingdom of the Dwarves. He owns a large portion of the rune-bound roadway, as it's known, and it has a toll on the crossroads where they earn a lot of money.
You know, they held a full festival to welcome him in Greenhill. My parents did that. Idiot. Not sure why I did it, apart from just being me. But well, I've made
Probably
better
because he
decisions in my
deserved it,
life.
and other people didn't have it in them to do it.
That's kind of the thing. There was just everybody was just they hated him. They were quite clear about the fact that they hated him, but in his face they were just so nice. I could never really understand that. But I probably should have more.
Well,
The subtle arts of diplomacy, I suppose.
in my opinion, the only reason really to be nice to somebody like that is you can get close enough to stab them.
But then again, I'm not really the knife wielding person, so that would have been difficult.
Yes, but I am, and I think you're due a visit home, a homecoming. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? I really shouldn't discuss assassinating lords and ladies publicly.
Probably not. No.
I never said that. Have another drink.
Said what?
Exactly.
Pick up the goblet. Whichever goblet just magically appears in front of her. She'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is or what
Keenan
it
will have
contains.
switched him by this stage because he doesn't like to get drunk. Thank you for opening up to me. I know it's not easy, given what I've said about my past, people to tell me stuff, but appreciate it, and just know I've got your back. You'll always have a home with me.
I can see how hard you've tried, and I've tried to keep my problems with me, but it seems like I can't shake you. So I might as well trust you with this knowledge.
People, you, they get under your skin. I thought, Anyway,
Not always a bad thing, though.
no.
I'm not going to punch you full force, by the way, ever. You can ask me for it many times. It's not happening.
I believe you. But if it helps you trust yourself and helps me get a good night's sleep, it's a win-win.
Whatever floats your boat, man. I prefer, you know what I prefer.
And he kind of like shoulder bumps her and then just carries on drinking. With any
As
luck,
a-
we'll find you a nice halfling girl.
Ugh.
Or a half orc girl, depending on
Oh,
your
rather
particular
have
type.
that. Yeah. Yeah, a nice,
Big,
big,
buff,
strong
muscle
woman.
Big, strong. Okay.
Well,
We
you've
did
met a
come
few.
across somebody like
Yeah.
that, but we're not allowed back in that town, I think, because
Mm.
Persephone started a fight
She's
and we had to go
also-
to prison.
Hey!
And
I'm not there, but she's also, don't forget, she's married to that horrible lady. I mean, Kaka! Kaka!
Caca, caca.
Yeah, you've seen a couple. There's Captain
I
Ness.
thought you were talking about Ness. Yeah, I thought you
Yeah,
were talking about
Ness
Nessa
is
from-
half Goliath.
yeah, she's
Mm.
massive.
She's
And
massive.
wouldn't
Pipkin would
wouldn't
have
Pipkin
met
know her?
Yeah, Pipkin
Yeah.
would have known her. Yeah. So it's like a lady grog essentially. Long, very dark, curling hair, massive muscles, shoulders. Wears a lot of armor. She's captain of the guard in Iridis Coast.
So Pipkin would know her, but she wasn't with her current company when she.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
So you'd know her mainly of reputation, and Ness used to fight in the fighting pits as well. So you would have come to blows. At
Probably
some point.
fought her.
She's going to.
Yeah.
She's going to go full detail into this one guard captain she really fancies.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she never had the nerve
It, like,
to
you
walk
guys are
up to
talking,
them.
and it's like, oh, we're talking about the same person.
Nessa, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
with those muscles and the
You've seen her, oh, isn't she?
Yeah, she does
I-
this incredible headlock with her thighs. It's Anyway, it's like being a watermelon crushed between. Cool. Anything else before you guys turn in for the night?
Nope.
No. Anything else from anyone else?
I want to go sleep with Jim, but if Zephyr is still asleep, she would try and like nudge her awake because she's also feeling very awkward about what was just in her letter. So she's trying to nudge Zephyr awake slightly just to be like, let's get you inside a different building so I don't have to sit here anymore in this awkward silence.
Yeah, you can
Wake the
probably coax
fuck up,
her.
Zephyr.
Her
I,
half
I rolled
sleepily.
I rolled with advantage, and she woke up.
Okay. She'll say, she won't be like aggressive about it. It'll be like really gentle, like, should we maybe not sleep in a barn? I mean, I'm about to go sleep in a stable, but that's not my point. I mean, you should go sleep inside somewhere. I'm gonna go settle down with Jim.
Kind of like nods sleepily and
Would
gets
you
up.
like me to help you? She like helps her up because she's like, I know how
Yeah.
it feels to be this tired.
And she just kind of walks back towards the inn with her head kind of drooping, not really watching where she's going, just kind of autopilot going back.
Zeph
Yeah.
will go straight to the stables and seek comfort with Jim.
Cool.
Jim is missing.
We'll say you all do your various sort of downtime activities, whether it be drinking or maybe grooming Jim or things like that. And we pick up the next morning with all of you having your long rest.
Please.
Persephone, once you step outside the stable doors, you notice that there is a asleep half-orc on the roof. With sort of like one leg dangling off.
I didn't know he was a gargoyle.
Seth will just sort of rub her eyes. Like, is his foot within slapping distance?
Yeah.
She's just gonna slap his foot on the way by as she goes towards the inn. Just not gonna say anything.
Yeah, as you're walking off, you hear him wake up, and then a soft rolling sound and a dull thud.
He just rolls off.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not gonna say anything. She's gonna go into the inn and hope that Keenan's down there and be like, I need to fucking talk to someone right fucking now.
For the benefit of everyone
And it needs
else,
to be him.
Emerald, that picture of Rhea Ripley is exactly how I described Ness.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, you've all had your long rest. You gathering your stuff in the tavern, and it doesn't take long for you to begin back on the road towards Iron Ridge. Like I said, it is only a day's ride, and so I would say that you take a moment to camp at one point, so that you arrive in the morning into Iron Ridge. As you're approaching, the sky turns grey long before you see any sense of the town. It is now rising up into the beginnings of the proper Hellfallen Mountains. You can see a lot of black, sort of crusted, ashen stone all around. A pillar of black smoke coils eternally off in the distance, as you can see large smelting chimneys from the mining town of Iron Ridge. There's a faint stink of sulfur, and as it turns into a steep cobbled causeway, this is more of a town. As you can see, steel watchtowers and very heavy reinforcements to the outer walls. You can see lots of very similar and quite familiar guards in mismatched armor, red sashes, and bronze dragon brooches, and large fluttering banners that drape from each of the watchtowers in a very similar style of crimson and gold. This town sort of sits in a quarry-esque style, and you can see the further they keep digging and creating mines, the further down the town seems to spread itself. You can see in the middle where that tall chimney is, it's sort of the forge area. You've got different squares, and then a lot of the caverns built into the mountains, which you would assume are the mines. Fortunately for all of you, throughout your various different explorations of Sylvastria so far, you do have a series of maps on your possession, including the latest ones you have. If you so choose, you can completely skip through the town and make your way into the mines. As you know, the fastest way to Car du Nord is through those mines. It will take you roughly 2 days of walking to get all the way there, out to the other side, where you would then be in the land of the dwarves. But that is completely up to you if you want to skip by that.
Is there somewhere safe that we can put our horses and donkey if we're walking?
You would have to find one.
We could stable them in the town. Do we not have to visit the town to
So
check
the main
on the
aspect of the
business?
town is sort of goes down into the quarry. A lot of the tunnels and beginnings of the mines are either on the outskirts, deep in, if you want to go like really far down, or on separate roads, because this is a massive quarry. You can go varying different ways before even reaching into the town. And because you have the maps, you could, if you wanted, just completely skip through. But like I said, it will be down to you guys as a group to decide.
Well, the sooner we get there, the better, right?
Yeah, Pipkin would
Again?
vouch for rushing through. She's impatient.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's
Yeah.
just quickly find somewhere that we can put our noble steeds, and we can go. Well, that got dramatic.
As you begin to move inside, the vast town of Iron Ridge begins to splay before you, and the very familiar sound of blacksmiths at work. This town is busy and crowded. A lot of the townsfolk are dwarven or human. You can see they go about their days very hollow-eyed and continuing about their movements like it's routine. In the center of the town stands a monument to the brass worm, a rearing brass dragon spewing flame from its mouth every hour.
Motherfuckers. Shit.
There's cliffside housing carved into the rock of the quarry, like stacked warrens connected by narrow switchback paths and rope bridges. A lot of the homes you can see are boarded up or filled with quiet coughs or flickering lanterns. Aside from the workers, there aren't many other citizens. And as you're moving about, you can see a very familiar smattering of halflings every now and then. They bear steel gauntlets on their hands that seem to shimmer in the light, covered in ash, soot, and dirt of varying other means. What were once their quite elegant features are now lined deep and dark, showing every creak and crevice in their face. And almost all of them have very dark hair. There is an elevator shaft that you can see that leads into the lower set of the mines in the town, operated once more by mercenaries that ask for any form of paperwork wherever you're moving.
As we're sort of like looking around and walking through, do we see any signs of like that rot?
No.
Considering it was the bronze worm or brass worm or whatever it was, that it was this group of people that basically did it?
No. There is no sort of sign of greenery or grass. So you would guess that there would be a pretty
I was
neat
more looking to see if there was like any, of like the remember we saw like the barrels of like the potion and stuff like that. Just wants to see if there's any. Just like glancing by as they're moving.
Not that you can see now.
Okay. She's just going to keep that as a mental sort of note that this is where that curse came from.
What else?
Keenan is going to rummage in his pack and pull out the brooch that they found when they fought the people that put the rot in the river of the bronze worm.
Mm-hmm.
And is just going to kneel down and pin it to Pipkin's chest and say, hopefully this will give you a little bit of extra protection while we're here.
Thanks.
Pipkin, are you wearing your tartan?
Yes.
Good to know. The main part of town, tucked in the base of a very scorched cliff wall, is a tavern called the Umbar Rest. It looks more like a bunker than a tavern. Its facade is reinforced with black iron plating and very thick stone columns. And you can see that warm steam is carried from perhaps some old tunnels and forges that have now been moved to the central part of the town. The door is a solid dwarven make, riveted steel. You can see the smoky red sigil of Moradin, which is a dwarven god, has been scratched out and replaced with a simple engraving of a hammer lying at rest. A battered wooden sign hangs overhead, nearly swallowed by soot, that says the Umbar Rest, heat ale, no questions asked. Do you want to go inside?
Sure.
I was about to say, Steph will like look at Pipkin for guidance almost, because she can see obviously that there are other halflings here, and she doesn't want to force her to do anything she doesn't want to.
Cool.
Also, she just wants to say before we go inside, are we just here to get through this, or to find somewhere to put our My brain is not there.
Mounts, horses.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we stop here for a drink and try and gather some information.
Right. I'm not the best at that. I'll
And
just keep
Keenan
my-
looks over at everyone and kind of to try and blend in, if you can.
Steph is gonna look down at her bright purple skin and
Yeah, that is literally why Keenan's like, if you
Really?
can.
It's been
and she's gonna look at the blue one.
Really?
It's been about 10 minutes, and as you're sort of looking amongst each other, you can already notice very distinct dulling of the colours as the ash and dirt and soot is beginning to land. You're all very dulled colour than you used to be.
Like Steph is gonna look at her once white hair, now turning grey. Like, this isn't cool. I don't like this place. I don't like it. Get me out of here.
Pipkin's going to pull half of her erisage, sort of as a hood over her to protect her from the soot and to sort of half-assedly try to conceal her face somewhat.
Inside, the Umbaresque is a very dim, warm, and low-ceiling room. Brass lanterns hang from curved iron beams, and the walls are lined with red stone and steel-forged benches. Yeah, but this place looks like it's designed to withstand not only drunks, but cave-ins. And there's a roaring forge hearth dominates the far wall, giving the tavern a very steady heat. The brass lanterns, you've only ever seen maybe in Irides Coast. It's not often used that much, as it takes a lot of skill to cast those lanterns. A copper boiler hisses behind the bar, and a tap system built from repurposed mine valves pouring 3 types of thick smoky ale, and one of which is served hot and boiling. There is a very familiar sight as you see once more a sunken ring off to one side in the center of off to one side of the tavern. Built for arm wrestling, knife games, and informal disputes. And carved into this edge in Dwarven, if anyone speaks it. It says, "Keep it clean, keep it loud." Rather than a complete pit that you're used to, it's just a couple of steps and then a lower area. You do notice a very stocky, flame-scarred dwarf with a mess of braided, bright crimson hair is stood behind the bar. She looks very annoyed at most of the people inside here, as well as you see a bunch of forge workers, a few grizzled locals, a couple of halflings who are who have gauntlets. No brassworm guards, as far as you can tell. But that is everything you see.
What is the vibe of the patrons in here? Are they looking at us as we've entered? Like, what sort of looks are we getting as a group?
I would say make a perception check as you walk in, Keenan. Being that you're the one that would normally look for this type of thing.
Let's say 21.
Perfectly fine. More than fine. You notice a lot of the dwarves and humans look your way, and a couple of the locals, who are also dwarven as well. They do stare a little bit before you hear a very sharp cough come from the bartender, and they all look away almost immediately.
Cool. Keenan will approach the bar then and ask for a round of drinks, local specialty.
Not for me. I don't want anything.
He'll
I'm good.
get one for everybody, even if people aren't going to drink it, so that it doesn't stand out.
Cool.
Great.
It's the local is very simple. It's called Ashen Ale. It's just very thick and bitter, and a little bit smoky.
And then it's gonna guide the group to a table somewhere as out of the way as possible. If there's like a booth or something, but if not, it's fine, because then he's gonna put his drink as well as Pipkin's in front of Pipkin, and the rest on the table, and then he's gonna go, I'm gonna go gather some information and start circulating and listening to stories and joining in games like he normally does.
Okay, make me a persuasion check to try and ingrate yourselves with these people.
That's a 32.
Oh,
Oh
damn.
my god.
You're a bit of a brush of
Rotate
fresh air for these people. More than happy to begin talking to you and tell you various different things. Throughout this entire interaction, it takes you about 20 minutes to go forth and mingle. You learn that the Umbar Rest is no place for the Brassworm Guards, as the owner, Branna Iron Throttle, has banned all of them. She has a deep-seated hatred for them and calls them outsiders with the new money.
Awesome.
So
So-
I'm not done there.
Oh, excellent.
You learned a lot. I'm just trying to read through my notes. You learn that the worm moved in about 50 years ago with a proposition to mine something called black glass. You know it more as obsidian. And the deep-set mine that you saw on your entry is called the Deep Lung. It's an older, unstable shaft that was sealed after something started happening. You learn that a bunch of survivors are confirmed trapped beneath Collapse Point 9. The survivors being slaves that are used for work within the mines. Collapse Point 9 being to the north, and one of the mines you saw when you entered. You saw... you overheard that there's a rumor of Brassworm cultists who worship none of the Dwarven gods, rather a entity they call an aberration, and the one with the crackling eyes. I would say from your time not spending with dwarves, you wouldn't know what they're talking about, other than the fact that the dwarves worship the normal pantheon, just different versions of them. So, for example, the Guardian, rather than being as Nim sees her, the Guardian is a male dwarven representation of battle, rather than honor and chivalry. They each culture picks and develops their faith, but as long as they're still based in the same area, they will give the power to that god. But you do understand that those cultists do not worship any of the pantheon that you know. What else? You learn that Branna used to be a smuggler long before the worm came into town. The Umbar Rest being the last guard point that she still owns in this town, being forced into selling a lot of her property to the worm. You also learn that the worm is ruled over by a bunch of people, most importantly being some of the lords of the surrounding area, and a very familiar name that I didn't expect you would know as soon as I mentioned it, There is a Lord Pistlethwaite, who is a co-owner of the Brass Worm Consortium, being that he owns a lot of the trade routes to the south. You learn that 42 recent halflings have come from surrounding towns, including 18 from Greenhill. You get a description of 2 quite young halflings that sound very familiarly dressed in tartan that mimics Pipkins, as well as an elderly and a bunch of several children who have now been sent to the infirmary as they are sick from fumes. They are still alive, but there's a rumor that the mine has become unstable. That is the conclusion of everything that you hear, as 32 is 10 above the DC.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, so he will return to the group casually, spend some time filling them in on everything he's learned, and then say, it sounds like we may have a ally in the bar owner.
So when you mention, like, if you mention it the same way about like the black glass, even though it's called obsidian, Seth's eyes are gonna widen for like a fraction, and she's gonna look you in the eyes and be like, "We need to talk.
Yeah.
We didn't finish our talk.
Yes.
Preferably before we meet your sister."
Absolutely, before we meet my sister.
Okay. Sorry, carry on with
tonight,
what you were doing.
maybe.
Uh-huh.
If we can get lodgings.
Sounds good.
But we have a number of leads here.
We have an ally in there.
Quite possibly. From the sound of things, she likes the brass worm as much as we do.
Does she know about the rot that they've been?
That I haven't heard about. I think we could risk asking her.
Okay.
But it's where we want to go first. Pipkin, I'm going to defer to you because it sounds like there could be family.
Pipkin, can you make an insight check on the description that he gives you? As there's a bit of Chinese whispers. Like I said, originally these people wouldn't have told Keenan anything, being that he's an elf. So your DC was 22, and you got a 32. They are now thinking that maybe elves aren't quite as bad as they've been told.
Oh, it's a dirty 20 on my first ever dice.
A
natural 20.
The description he gives you, I do believe, sounds a lot like...
Ow. Sorry.
Pipkin. Do you ever name any of your siblings, Pipkin?
Nope.
Good, because I named them. I can't remember if I was right or not. How many do you have? You didn't tell me that either.
Nope, all yours.
The 2 young halflings that are described wearing, if you want to describe what your tartan looks like, are called Ludo and Pippa. Pippa being that she was thought to... Pippa is named after you, as she caught a fever early in her formative years, and you having realized you slept in her bed and helped her survive the night, and she was named thereafter Pippa in your honor.
Cute.
But Ludo and Pippa sound very familiar.
Okay. So her tartan, I've had to scroll back to the drawing I made, is in basic dark blue. Forgive me, I'm not actually Scottish, so I don't know the terminology, but she has dark green wide bands on it, as well as thinner red and yellow bands.
Cool.
That
well, I mean,
go
this is Scottish inspired, so it can be however you want.
Yes.
However you
Yeah.
want it to be.
I just don't know actual terminology, so
Yeah.
lines and bands is what you're gonna get from me.
Yeah, so I'm thinking dark blue, and then you say wide green, sort of bands.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop
and then like thin.
for reference. Gonna pop it in the chat again.
Wonderful. Yeah, Luna and Pippa sound very familiar, as well as the elderly halfling sounds a lot like Elder Thomwell, who is a spiritual leader from Greenhill. Preaches a lot about the farmer, who is a god, by the way.
Yes. I whisper back. That's definitely them. That's definitely my family. If they're in immediate danger, I don't know how much we could wait. Especially
Aren't they
the little
here
ones.
though? Didn't they, or did they say they were moved? Sorry, I don't remember.
In the infirmary.
Yeah, the
so
little
they're,
ones
they're
were.
here. We can check on them while we're here.
So you didn't get the full details. You were told that several children sick from the fumes are in the hospital. Well, not hospital, but medic area. You got a description of various different 18 halflings from Greenhill, and including in that description were 2 ginger-haired, curly halflings and 1 elder who sound very familiar. The only reason you took notice of those is because the description of their tartan was the same as Pipkin's.
Yeah.
We can have a look around for them. I don't. If it sounds like they're here.
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable checking
Yeah,
the infirmary
no,
to see if.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got you. I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'm happy to back you up on this. I can invite the forgive me, Lycaon, I've forgotten the name. The bartender over.
Branna.
She may have. I can invite Branna over to share a drink with
More
us. She might have more information.
Yeah, sure.
Also, if she's not a fan of the brass worm, you should probably take that badge off just for now.
Yeah, good shout.
The one that Keenan put on you, Pipkin, just hide it for a few minutes.
I will.
It was just
she
meant for
takes it off.
protection, obviously, but if
She
she's not a fan
takes
of
it off
them-
and she pins it to her bloomers underneath her skirt.
So Keenan is going to prance up to the bar. Kind of, if there's more than one person serving, wait for Branna to be available.
No, it's just her.
Just her. So he's going to order another round and invite her to join us for a drink at our table. Got an old friend she might like to meet.
Make another perception check for me. Persuasion, sorry.
That one's not so good. It's a 30.
Oh, wow.
Bards, man. Yes, she nods her head, tells one of the locals to jump behind the bar, who happily obliges, pouring himself an ale, and then moves her way, sort of following you. Approaches the table. She's also produced some mountain broth, which is some bone-heavy stew fuel, as well as what's known as Forge Fire Brew, which is the boiling hot mead that's served in iron mugs. And sort of sits down and she's like, so, welcome to Iron Ridge. And then looks
Thank you.
expectantly around before her eyes land on Pipkin.
This is probably the one time she's going to try and stay low profile. Probably the only time.
As like just a thing of comfort, Seth's tail, like the end of her tail, is just gonna land on Pipkin's lap. It's just her trying to silently show her comfort.
So,
Keenan makes introductions and then kind of, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Rumour has it you're no fan of the brass worm, and neither are we. You tell we're outsiders. We're here on a very, very important, close to home issue for us. Pipkin here. We have reason to believe her family might have been brought here. Of course, while we're here, any mischief making that you might suggest that would help you, we'd be happy to instigate as well. But we're looking for friends where there aren't many.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even the guards of Ironridge don't like the brass-wearing mercenaries, but they make it work. We can get away with a lot of things. Often the guards convince them to look the other way, but I've got a special kind of hatred, and I'm sure she does too.
Your family in here too.
No, my family long died. But I have a soft spot in my heart for people born in chains. What's everyone's passive perception?
10.
14.
No,
12.
12.
14.
12.
Zephyr is the only person that overhears Kozar says something very specifically in Halfling, which you were unaware that he could speak. To which I believe only you, Pipkin, and Branna can hear. Not that Pipkin heard it. It is a word often used for resistance in the terms of more used in scientific communities, or more accurately when you're talking about logical or methodical processes. The halflings don't really have a word for freedom, as freedom is implied in their language, but he sort of mumbles it under his breath. And once again, you see him raise part of his gauntlet up, at which point most of you will see a twisted snake tattoo in a triangle, to which Branna sort of nods her head at. Keenan, or Nim's not here. Yeah, no, just you. Can you make a history check, please?
That's a 6.
Yeah, you have no idea what it means.
No.
Unfortunately. But yeah, you do all sort of clock onto it as Zephyr sees it first, and you sort of follow her eye line, and he quickly tucks it away. Being that Persephone's already seen it, that's fine. Branna nods her head. She's like, yes, I heard about that one too. Hi, I can help you. What do you need?
Her family.
Yeah, primary information, and then any help you can offer.
Have you seen the ones who are bearing resemblance and sporting her colours? Do you have any information
A lot
on
of
them?
people come in, most notably from, we've had a lot come in from Green Hill. I'd say the best
That'll be the
person you can
one.
speak to is probably, there's a halfling. He runs a black market in the Ash Market. He is quite portly, dresses too fine for the town, but we all call him Uncle Kai. Pipkin, you are familiar with Uncle Kai. He used to be a merchant who passed through town. There were rumors he was a smuggler. used to give coin to the children or any orphans in your town. He
So
was brought
kind of
here.
in good standing, though a
Yes,
smuggler.
very much so.
Is he ally, I suppose, since you're sending us his way?
Oh yes, yeah. No, he funded the he funded the 43rd Resistance a couple of weeks back. They always end the same way, but it's fun to put a dent in the worm's coffers.
Speaking of the worm, do you know about their rotting adventures?
We've heard tale of it, but there's not too much in terms of greenery around these areas. I get a lot of talk from the incoming slaves about what they've done to their towns. So,
A couple of our people were infected by it, I suppose, including our halfling friend.
yeah, we've seen a couple of those. Unfortunately, they passed away a couple of days back.
We know of a cure, but it's quite difficult to get a hold of.
I'm sure.
We could always write it down for you. I know it's probably not easy. It's not easy to make, but we managed to. There's a very rare flower that we managed to replicate, so I'm sure there's some people here that could too. It's in my nature to help. And then she's still got Keenan's book, and she's just gonna rip another page out and start scribbling down all the like ingredients and stuff that they need. And she's gonna ask, was it Zephyr or Nim that remembered what the like incantation that the woman said was?
I wrote down all the process.
You wrote it down?
Yeah,
She'll
yeah.
like mumble next to Callan and like copy down his notes.
Yeah, I'll literally just
And
open
then-
up my little notebook and it'll have it all listed out step by step, methodically.
She'll copy all of it down and then slide it across the table for her, and then only then will she give it back to Keenan. Like, oh yeah, this is yours.
Yeah, Keenan's gonna look at it and kind of mumble under his breath. Need to get a new notebook.
Sorry.
She slides across 3 badges of hammers crossed against each other. Seem to be made out of some form of cheap steel. As she's doing that, you know she's missing 3 fingers. So slides them across. It's like, brandish these to people you consider enough to trust, and they should be able to lend you a little bit more hand. There is someone you need to be aware of, though. The name's Sloric. She's a tiefling enforcer. Looks a lot like your friend, and sort of nods at Nim. She walks with a limp, but the iron chain that she carries is rumored to set alight by itself. They say she survived one of the black glass collapse. Try and say that 10 times faster. But she was rumored to have survived it, and ever since then she's been climbing up the ranks. But you want to give a wide berth to that one.
Okay.
Like I said, most of the guards here hate them, so it's not like this is some sort of incursion, but they have enough people and enough resources to stamp out anything they don't like. So if you are going to step on their toes, make sure you prepare beforehand.
Some
We'll step.
really good advice, and if we were to put a dent into some of those resources that they have, where would you suggest we aim for?
To be honest, freeing their workforce might do it. that's your goal anyway. Without people to
there-
mine their obsidian.
Is there anything we should know about their we saw that some of them were like shackled. Are they like enchanted in some kind of way?
Yes. Yeah, those gauntlets are enchanted. They each have a she sort of she like moves uncomfortably as she mentions it and sort of gives an eye to Kozar. Each of the gauntlets have a allocation of an area that they can only reside in. If they go outside, they let's just say it's not pretty. Most of them don't remember their names at this point, so we just
Okay.
we just assign them by their area.
Do you know of anyone that's tried to break the enchantment so we know what not to do? I mean, is it?
Oh, they try all the time.
Can they just be? Can they be destroyed or?
Only, I believe they can be turned off. The enchantment can be dispelled by the origin point, but most of that is held in the central towers. Like I said, it's not mind control. They are free and they try it all the time, but
Is it? Has no one tried to help them, like free them before? Sorry if I'm talking your ear off. I just want to know all the.
That, like I
information
said,
you need.
43 resistances. They've been here 50 years. It's about one a year, give or take.
Okay, and you said that they can be turned off. So you've gathered that in that much in sorry.
Oh yeah, one of the
information.
districts got free at one point. They helped gain a little bit more area to push back against the worm. That's how I managed to keep hold of this place, actually.
Do you know how they sorry, my stutter's horrendous at the moment. How they turned it off?
From what I come to understand, they they blew up one of the chimneys, and it fell on a building that no one knew housed one of the enchantments. But
So it's not a person. It's like a.
oh no, that was and she sort of like flexes her hand a little bit. I say they, me and Kai had an idea and took it a little bit too far. You lose some things.
Steph is gonna look at Kozar and be like, "Yeah, we've had ideas like that too." Okay, I suppose we should, unless anybody else has anything else to say, we should probably go see if we can find this Kai person.
Agreed.
Is there?
Thank you.
Is there, just before we go, is there any like safe lodging here? Like, do
Oh yeah,
lodge
you can.
here?
Yeah, you can stay. I've got some rooms out back, part of the old tunnels. Just don't take the third one from the right, because you might. It's an old mine shaft, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
But
Okay.
if you ever need to get out quick, you can always use those as well.
Thank you.
That's incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Well, you're incredibly
Wonderful.
charming, young man.
I do my best for the right people.
I've heard
Stop
about your
flirting.
people. Like I said, we have funding from many places.
They're not all so bad.
Oh
Steph
no,
is saying because she also
I think
was
he
one.
knows what I mean.
Do indeed. And if you will allow me, he's gonna pass over 100 gold
Mhm.
and say, I trust it's not much, but I trust you'll be able to put that to some use as well.
As long as you tell the Lady of Silver that the dwarves are not always against her.
The lady of
I will definitely pass that message on. I'll have a
Yeah.
contact in a few days. She'll be pleased to hear it.
You guys are being so ominous. Who is that?
That's
It's
for
like
you
a
to figure
toddler
out.
being nosy.
Roll me an insight, Persephone. Let's see if we can
Oh.
figure this out for you.
Oh, well, 24.
There's a familiarity to which Keenan knows that title. You've also heard the name for the underground, very secretive coalition of elves known as the Argentum Elite. Argent being a word for silver.
Silver, yeah.
The Lady
Right.
of Silver is the head of the
I
secretive
assumed it was
spy
his
network.
mum. Yeah, okay.
Has a very
I was
formidable
thinking that.
reputation and is known for being ruthless, cold-hearted, and unrelenting in her pursuit of information. She also happens to be Keenan's mother.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I figured as much. Okay. She's just gonna, like, give him a knowing look, being like, oh, yeah, no, okay, I get it.
But yes, not on a cliffhanger. That is where we are going to end our session for this week. And we will pick it up next week with you guys exploring a little bit more about Iron Ridge and talking to Uncle Kai, our halfling informant of the black market. Until then, don't forget we have our stream tomorrow, and we have restarted our Mystery Dice giveaways, which I believe Tommy might have redeemed. So you can pick up your ticket tomorrow if you want. And until then, this has been my Wyrdcast. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye. And we will see you again tomorrow.
Eternity's a gift, they say, to never cross the veil. This life I try to savor, and I try to no avail. Curse that mortal brevity which has rent you from my arms. Curse this cold eternity without you to keep me warm. Your never-ending elegy is a ballad with no melody, as empty as I. Now you've passed me by, a blessing